Hey guys, welcome to the Ani-TAY Podcast episode 5, and we're going to have a spoilerific episode where we're not going to hold anything back due to the open topic. So it's me, Ken, as your guest as always, also known as Fruity, and my usual guest as well I have is David.
Hello.
Kevin.
Hi.
And Richard.
Hey everybody.
And also today we have our special guest as always every month, or every episode even, is Deadly Fatalis, also known as Calvin.
Hello.
Alright, and since you're new, we always go through this routine. I really can't remember these questions.
Silly Ken.
Oh my.
Just get us started off with your name, where you're from, that sort of thing. Let's start there.
And then what is it? Your anime history in top 3, right?
Yeah, something like that. It sounds
That's
good to me.
Right. Yeah, don't worry. I have the questions written down.
Thank God I have you guys for backup, right? I mean, I'd be lost, dead in the water now.
Yeah. Go ahead, Fatalis.
All right, so, well, as you know, I'm Fatalis, or Calvin, as we're Fatalis on Tay, of course. You know, it's all good. From Canada, you know, on the East Coast.
First Canadian. Canadian here.
Hey.
Yep. All right. So, okay. What do I write? I don't write at any sort of I don't write on any sort of schedule. I write just about random stuff at random times. Anything from like not anime at all, like Battlefield Hardline, to something like super anime, like Move Love Supplement.
Yeah.
So it's like all over the spectrum.
Yes.
That's fine. Perfectly acceptable here.
And then I guess how I got into anime. I watched you know, like all the like classic like Pokemon, Digimon,
that's the stuff.
all that kind
That's
of
the
like
good
all
stuff.
that kind of stuff, you know, way back when. And then I started watching anime seasonally in like I remember it like exactly. I remember I started like first season I watched seasonally was fall 2010. I picked up one show, and that one show was the first season of Ori no Imoto. Oh yeah.
So what you're
Brave.
saying is you evolved.
It's a brave first
Did
sentence.
I?
Are you sure it's
Or am
not
I still the
devolved? Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Whoa. Calm down, everyone. I might have screwed up the beginning, okay, but doesn't mean we can just go all out now. But yeah, it's a brave show. It's a brave show to say.
Okay, I guess top 3. Alright, are you ready for this? This is gonna be a good top 3.
And again,
right?
we do not endorse these as our top 3s. These are just Kelvin's top 3. So.
Alright, here we go. Alright, Carnival Phantasm.
Yes!
Gucci Mask.
So funny.
And then I'll round it out with something normal with Gurren Lagann. There you go.
So wait, sorry, Carnival Phantasm and...
Poochie Mask. It's the spin-off show for Idolmaster.
I haven't caught up fully on that because I'm trying to watch Idolmasters and that drug at the same time with seasonal anime, so I haven't got quite far. But I've watched like 3 episodes, just like, oh my god, I need my own.
It's good. It's cool because it's like they release an episode every day. Oh my god, watching that seasonally is just like, oh okay, it's Poochie Mask time. Poochie Mask comes out, time to watch it.
Yeah, I wish I had my own. Oh my god. Anyway, they're good choices. Gurren Lagann, Poochie Mask, and Carnival. I love Carnival Phantasm.
So
fun.
great. So it's one of the best comedies out there. So great.
I love how it's written by the same person who did Crazy Shrine Girl, Kanagi, and I just love Kanagi as well, so that's just another big plus for me. Alright, so the outro's out the way. We're recording this on the 2nd of August, on my time zone. No, 3rd. Oh god, I'm going crazy. And we've about 5 weeks in on the summer season, right? And we've been sussing out a couple of shows, and I think it's, you know, at the beginning of the show, I think we want to point out some of the less bigger noised, hyped up animes, right? Because, you know, we want to.
What you're saying is not Sword Art Online.
Well, anything that's not super hyped up, I guess. You know, the shows that we want also people to know about and watch because they're reasonably fun and good as well. You know, you don't have to watch. You'd always have to watch the big shows because you're just like missing out on half the good stuff. And I know that how many of us watching this now? I think 4, and it's Survival Game Club, which I know I can't pronounce because Richard always corrects me on this.
Survival game,
Sabagebu?
so Sabagebu. Yes, survival game.
I'm still not going to try.
I was at least really close.
So this is the show where it's a bunch of high school girls. They're in and they go join a survival game club, right?
Makes
It's
sense to me,
essentially
Japan.
So
They just call it survival game.
and so it's under the premise cute girls doing cute survival game things.
With airsoft guns.
And an amazing voiceover narrator guy.
Oh yeah. So this is completely different from what everyone expected, right? I mean, I know when I came into the show, I was expecting something like C3. I don't know if you guys watched it, Stella's Academy.
Stella's Academy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking
I was kind of
too.
expecting that, but yeah, I was like, I don't know if I wanted more of that or like a whole new spin. And then I think we got something a lot much better because this is again, guys, when you're listening, this is going to be spoilers everywhere. All right. So instead of Academy. Do you remember that scene where she did like some Matrix-esque reality bending subplot happening?
Yeah.
Like I don't even understand like what happened.
They just kind of ignored it. It was like, oh, she's altering
Yeah.
reality
It's
on
like,
a
oh, this
massive level.
happens.
We're gonna go not deal with that anymore. Bye.
Yeah.
That was my biggest
So I
complaint.
didn't know if I wanted more of that in Sagebrew. I'm like, do I want more of that or do I want? I don't know. I don't know why I wanted that at Sagebrew. And watching it, I'm pleasantly surprised. Really funny, quite clever in its comedy. Definitely.
Yeah. No, this is
I
is
agree.
one of my favorites, definitely, of this season. It all comes down to one very important thing, which is how the humor is handled. It's handled through the main character, which is Momoka. The new girl to the club. She doesn't want to join the club. But the thing about her is she's a horrible person. Like, that's really what it is.
Yeah, most
Like,
definitely.
if you were going to describe her in one word, the word is petty. You might want to tack on spiteful as well, just in case you needed a second adjective. And that's the thing is, she on the outside, she tries to be the stereotypical innocent newbie. Like, that's what she tries to be. Except that's not at all what she is on the inside. So, yeah, when it'll come down to a situation where, like, there's these girls torturing her for getting up, close and buddy with the head of the survival game club, who is like the queen of the school or whatever. And then it's like everything is talked out and everything looks like it's all happily resolved. Like, and then she's like, oh wait, no, you guys shouldn't apologize, because then it would make my revenge a lot less sweet. And then she proceeds to torture them for 3 scenes.
Yeah.
Or
man.
or what was it in the latest episode? Like, the moment that just got me was they're playing, what is it, the shooting video game? They're playing House of the Dead, and the guy kind of half cheats by putting in more quarters more Hyakuen coins to draw a second gun, and she doesn't have any money to do that, so she draws her airsoft gun and then pistol whips him in the back of the head and knocks him out. That I was expecting, because I've expected her to become that petty, that she would just knock him out so she could win. What I didn't expect was that after she knocks him out, she walks over and kicks him in the stomach for no reason. Just because she's pissed. And then she just turns back around and wins the game. And that's why I love this.
It's a lot of violence played for laughs.
Right.
And
Like one of
works.
the things, yeah. I think one of the things for me that sealed the deal was like in the second episode where God, I forget her name, the pink-haired girl is at the breakfast table like near the beginning of the second episode. It's like, oh, she's here for attack. I gotta attack first. And then it's just the pause over just her face, and then she just suddenly gets punched. It's like, oh man, they played that. It's like it was played so straight. It was like you would think something else would happen, but they just played it so straight. It's like, wow, I was not expecting that.
Yeah, she immediately punches her in the face. And yeah, and then what of it? Her gun battle with her mom over whether she should eat her broccoli. Yeah.
Oh God.
And the narrator. And you, like you were saying before, it's
I
all
was
about
about
the
to say,
narrator.
The narrator.
Because it's
handled so
that
perfectly.
he just sits there and
It's-
breaks the fourth wall repeatedly. Like, that's all he does.
I do love that moment where I think it's in
Very meta.
the first or second episode where they go to the gun shop
Yes,
and
first episode.
Momoko goes, she goes, I've heard your voice somewhere before, and then everyone just like clicks like, wait a minute, he's the narrator. Wait, I think he's the narrator.
He
Am I
is,
right?
he
in
is,
assuming that? Yeah. Everyone says that. When I had watched it, I was like, this is the show. Oh my god, this is hilarious. This is brilliant. And then every time he keeps telling the audience, us, that this is not realistic. It's just happening in their heads. I'm like, yes, thank you.
And did everybody
Thank you so
like
much.
Kaio's battle outfit, which would be Jill Valentine from Resident Evil 3? That's what she's wearing. That's why she's wearing a tube top with a sweater tied around her waist and has 2 submachine guns.
Yeah.
She's Jill Valentine.
Why didn't I notice this?
I don't know why I didn't notice it. I was just laughing my butt off when she comes out dressed as Jill Valentine.
And the amount of times they do like some crazy physics breaking stunts, like when they both start like, is it the second or third episode where they it's her and the cosplay girl?
Second episode.
I'm so bad at
Yes.
remembering. Second, yeah. And she's like, they start like doing like they start flipping and they just like start almost flying. I'm like, this is getting so much better by the second.
I do hope we get to see, because like the narrator keeps telling us this is what they're seeing in their head while they do it. Like, this is how they're kind of immersed in it. I want to see what it really looks like. Just one episode where we just see them, like, just crouched and popping up and shooting back and forth for, like, 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's like one just lying on the floor, just, like, shaking their body as if, like, they're dying. Like, just like a Chumbio moment, you know, when there's moments where we see Rika and Dekomori just, like, randomly, you know, swinging umbrellas at each other. I want that moment in this show right now soon. It'll be so good, I think.
But, yeah. Oh, man. And the platypus that we're not really sure is a platypus. Oh, my God. Like that whole thing, like making fun of like the anthropomorphized animals in anime right there. Like, is it a platypus? Because it doesn't seem to do anything that a platypus would do.
But yeah, it's almost like, I feel like it's like the show we should have got from C3. Like C3 just like was playing in the middle, like both crazy reality bending and a bit of comedy on the side. I think, you know, Sagebury done
Sabagebu. It's just 4. It's like 4 sounds. Sabagebu.
Well, English, the language we speak is just a bunch of sound, alright? But
you've just insulted everyone who speaks the Queen's English. Good job.
It's fine, I'm English, alright? Look, it's okay. I laughed as well. No, but the show plays it like really great. I think like it knows what it wants to do, knows what it's trying to achieve, and you know, it's like you get what you know. You're coming in, you're getting what you paid for. Well, or watching, you're spending your time on. You know, it's a bit of a guilty pleasure in reality anyway. I think. You know, it's like it's quite a niche anime as well. I wouldn't say it's, you know, widely popular, like that everyone could pick up and start enjoying. I feel, just slightly. But yeah, so this is one of our sleeper hits, you could say, and I think it's absolutely fun. You know, if you can get past some of the weird antics, it's actually really good and enjoyable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and another one I think not many of us are watching. The point of these sleeper hits, funnily enough, is Invaders. Now I can't remember the full name. I'm pretty sure I can't pronounce it.
Oh, it's the Invaders of the Rokujyoma. Because Roku is 6. Jo is the counter for floor panels in Japan, and Ma is means room. So it's Invaders of the 6-panel room. That's what it is.
And this is why you're on the podcast.
Oh well, yeah, and just know in Japan that's how they always count rooms. Even if they don't have floor panels, that's how you count it. Like right now, I'm sitting in my living room, which is an 8 Jo room. And yeah, and if you played out the floor panels,
kind of.
Yeah, instead of measuring by square feet, that's how they measure, by traditional floor plans.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Oh, I measure my room with meters. You know, that's my traditional method.
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I hearing some superior European rhetoric over here?
Yes, indeed.
Well, sometimes I like to measure it by how many times I can roll over on my stomach, right? And then just, you know, just for fun. It doesn't matter. Apparently, it's not real.
Yeah, but yeah, and that's part of the thing where there's. 6 characters, and each one of them has a mat, has one of the panels
section of the room.
That makes
like
so much more sense. I thought it's a 7th one.
Like you see when
there's 6.
They bring up like
the 6th lady is the landlady, so she doesn't have one, and that's why the middle one is unoccupied.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're sharp on this, that's what we have as well.
Yeah, cultural context. Watch out for that crap.
Counters are annoying in Japanese if you're trying to learn it. So
counters are the worst.
It's good to have.
Just use the general counter if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So for the general people who aren't watching the show, this is why we think it's really fun and no one's watching it. It's because it's from the premise. It's just harem. Like everyone just thinks it's gonna be like harem bait, harem crap. You know, it sounds like a guy finds a room and then 6 different girls. Well, 5 different. Is it 5 or 6 now? I can't remember. 1, 2.
It's 5.
Because the 6th one doesn't
if you
count
the
because she's the
landlady.
assistant.
7 if you count the tea club lady.
The assistant too.
Oh, and the
so
assistant.
you got all the, yeah. So you see. So basically, the premise is the guy finds a really cheap room to rent out, and then all these girls come into the room needing the room, and then they battle it out. And obviously, when you got 6 girls and 1 guy, you generally know the formula by then. And I think that could put off a lot of people.
And each of them is a harem stereotype, like plot. Like we have the
definitely.
magical girl, we have the invader from a lost society, the girl from space.
We have the ghost.
The ghost. Yeah, it's literally every one of those like very very overused stereotypes that would normally be like the central character of the show. And but now they're all
just jammed into one, right? I don't know if you noticed, but I don't know why I noticed this sort of thing, but I noticed how every female character has that single strand of hair that like sticks out. I think that's great.
A hoge.
Yeah, everyone has one. I thought, oh my god, she has one. She has one. Oh my god, all 6 of them. It's like a hoge overdose almost. But yeah, that's just like a small thing I noticed. I love that. But it's actually a really fun comedy as well. It's not like so like there's not that much fan service. Like I can't say I remember too much. I mean, like it's there, but it's never overtly.
Yeah, except for the entire beach episode. It's never there except for that 30-minute chunks of non-stop fan service.
Look,
except for when it's the fan service episode.
Every series has
they
one.
had to hit their quota.
Yeah, every anime has a beach episode or a hot spring episode. But you know. But no, it's reason. I mean, like some of the stuff is absolutely hilarious. Like the episode when the ghost has to possess or like feel the feelings of a human being, and so to do that, she has to like hold on to their backs.
Yeah, that's all it was.
It's like,
that was pretty funny.
That. Yeah.
It was so anticlimactic. They were building it up, so it was like some big thing, and it was just a hug. It's like, oh.
Yeah, it's like, so you're not gonna do anything weird to me, are you? It's like, no, just need to hug you, man.
Just gotta do this.
Just let me embrace you from behind. It's like, okay. It's like they're just eating as well, aren't they?
And it's just normal eating. Like that's the whole scene. It's just them eating.
Yeah. And then there's this. I know a lot of people seem to hate her. Yukari, it's the magical girl.
The magical.
She's so amazing. It's Eureka.
It's like
Eureka. Sorry, yes, I know I'm getting crazy. She's absolutely fun, I think. Like, I know some people don't like her, like maybe it's the voice that she puts up, but I think it's brilliant, the voice she has. It's so
it
endearing.
works so well.
It makes you like say, it makes you feel like, no one should put you down. I think you're a real magical girl. Why wouldn't you be?
Yeah, that's the point. Like when
so.
you have that rest of that cast. And it's like, oh yeah, we have alien invaders and people from lost civilizations.
Alien invaders, like people from underground.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, magical girl,
yeah,
no way.
Magical girl, no, you're a cosplayer. It's a funny gag though that it keeps coming up.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I think I love the mole people as well. The mole people are hilarious. It's just like, I want the room so we can bring back our civilization into power
and conquer the world.
No, wait a minute. Yeah, he's like, wait a minute. I don't want to like, because I remember that first panel. He's like, you know what? You sound the most sane person here. Even if you did come from the underground, I'll take the money. It's like, wait a minute. You seem to have some pretty bad intentions.
Yes.
But every girl is fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to pretend that I was... Oh, sorry. Go for it.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was just going to say, like, it's worth a laugh, but honestly, I was not super impressed by this one. I laughed. I was able to ride along with it. I didn't feel like it was insultingly pandering or anything. But it's just it's silly nothing. That's what it is. Not to be like it's just above wasting my time. Like it wasn't wasting my time, but barely. Like I was just sitting there. I was like, all right, this is funny. I'm along for the ride as long as I don't expect anything whatsoever.
I feel like it's another definitely guilty pleasure along with Survival Game Club. Like it's definitely like sort of thing where you wouldn't like.
It's not like the kind of thing I'd recommend to someone who doesn't watch anime.
You need to be quite accustomed to everything that anime is before you then fully enjoy
especially
what
this one because a lot of it, what makes it funny, and a lot of what makes Survival Game Club funny is you need to have watched enough anime to be familiar with how the stories are supposed to go.
Yeah,
you know,
I know it's be sounding a reasonably elite. Well,
no, you just it's just volume.
You need to watch enough anime, guys.
Well, no, it's just
you watch enough anime, then you'll get it.
Yeah, don't even try.
Well, I mean, but that's the thing. Like, you have to understand that, like, how the innocent girl is supposed to be to understand why Survival Game Club is so funny, and you have to understand how harem shows usually work to find this
Yeah,
one
so
function.
we've been skirting around the issue of the lead of the harem. It's the room, not the main character. I mean,
call it whatever you want, Kevin. We all know it, but-
but
it's
I agree.
a
I agree.
room
That's
with
true.
a harem.
Yeah, it's the girls all want the room. They don't really want only one of them really wants the guy.
And the guy, your main character, is part of the harem. So
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
the thing that's going for it is the novelty factor. The fact that, well, it does subvert a lot of the tropes, but it's a room with a harem.
Yeah.
Well, not to forget, I think like every girl's actual goal to why they need the room just happened to have that the guy would also be under the part of it. Like it just happens to come out as part of the package. Like the girl who's trying to conquer the world peacefully would happen to have to conquer the guy. You know, it just happens to happen. The girl who wants to conquer the world through the mole people, you know, she happens to just need to conquer again the Earth through military means, and it happens to be he'll be part of the human side, the losing side. You know. And what is it? The ghost just want her room back, so the other way she can do it is just by possessing him and whatnot. Just happens to be that he's part of the package if they do try to get the room. I feel so it's still there. The 6 girls want one guy, harem-esque, but generally speaking, it's still there. Like you can't really ignore it because there's hints of it already. Like how the high class lady.
You mean that Tsundere might actually be hiding her feelings somehow?
No, I think
What?
everyone is. Let's be fair. Everyone wants him.
Ken, you're talking crazy talk again.
I must be.
But yeah.
But it's a fun show. I mean, again, like you said, you probably want a little bit of experience in anime before you can fully enjoy the pleasures of Invaders, so to speak.
Oh yeah.
But I really like the opening, by the way. I think that's really fantastic editing. Like, well, just fun editing. You know how it's a first-person view of them playing the card game. That's really fun. I thought it's like I haven't seen that in a while.
Although for that shot to work, I was wondering why he was sitting in the middle of the circle, like on the table.
Yeah, I was just like
why is he sitting on the table?
Look, it's fun, alright? It's an opening sequence, Richard. Nothing happens.
Well, except anyone watching that who grew up like in the 2000s is going to be like, wait, are they getting high? Is this that 70s show again? Because that's what it is. It's like the exact same shot as that 70s show. And I'm like, oh, all right. There's an unintentional parallel. Nice.
And actually, I have to ask.
Yes, it is.
I'm so uncultured in this, but I'm assuming they're playing Old Maid, right? I've never played Old Maid. How does this work? Like,
in that, they are. They're playing Old Maid, yeah. Old Maid is just
elimination.
Well, okay.
Well,
You just want to get pairs and not be left with the
and
Joker.
that's it.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's literally it.
It's very simple.
I sort of get,
Like it's just like when you were like in one of the scenes, it's like you need a poker face because like the main character was taking like the card and he's going back and forth and then her face magically face, which changes like no.
and he just feels pity.
Yeah.
He's like, you know what? Oh,
And
come
well,
on.
it's the same
It's like,
thing.
yeah.
The same game they played in Nisekoi, which is why he purposely lost because he could tell which was the card she wanted him to take and which was the one she didn't want him to take.
Like I feel like that's a trope in itself, just like playing Old Maid and having two faces or having a bad poker face.
But it's nice that
'Cause
that's
for some
not
reason-
what they always play. That they play different games. But really, I mean, that's it.
Well,
They're just messing
finally.
around.
Finally.
You know.
Yeah, but I was supposed to say, because I sort of, I mean, I'm just crazy as well, but I swear to God, every anime when they play Old Maid, it's slightly different, like ever so slightly. So, like, I've just always been confused on how you actually play Old Maid. Like, people just play it differently. I guess it's like how people like to play different kinds of other card games, but hey.
It's like house rules, kind of.
Yeah.
I guess.
House rule just bullshit. Just play whatever you want. Go win.
All right.
Right. So I was really surprised at this show because I thought it was really hyped up, but it wasn't according to our general consensus at the time, which is our Haru Ride, which I can't pronounce.
No, you pronounced it perfectly. Good job.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Richard. Thanks.
Rubber stamp.
So Blue Spring Ride as well. Is that the English
Yeah.
translation?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is I honestly think one of the better shoujos we've had in a long, long time since Kimi ni Tanoke. Oh, you want to guess what I would have said? Or Lovely Complex. And that's the only two shoujos I actually think are good. Well, really, really good anyway. Sorry, Toradora fans.
Shots fired again. Pew,
Oh,
pew.
shots fired.
I'm just saying, right? Kimi ni Tanoke. Anyway, so not Kimi ni Tanoke. Our Haru Rise. This is the show where So basically, if I remember correctly, it's a girl and a boy meet in middle school or first school.
Middle school.
It's
first year.
Middle
It's
school.
first year middle school, so they're 7th graders.
Yes, and then they happen to fall in love, and then the guy moves away, and they meet back again in high school. But
And everything's perfect.
God, wouldn't that be such a great show?
Just everything's perfect.
And then they immediately hook up, and it's happily ever after.
Oh,
Wow,
but
that was a
so-
nice 13-episode season, everybody.
Well, but no, sadly it doesn't happen, David. And the guy's changed. He's broken. He's damaged. You know.
No.
And he's different, and the girl still loves him, but he's
But the
different.
girl's different too.
Yeah, and then it's just everywhere, feelings and emotions and anyway, so basically the girl they meet up again, but the guy's changed in high school, but she still has feelings for him, but they don't seem to correlate anymore. They don't seem to mix as well as they did back in middle school, and thus the shoujo romance ensues. Now, I did a little research on this, and I realized it's made by the same studio as Kimi no Todoke, which is why for some reason for me I felt it was so familiar. Like, it just, like, the art style, some of the watercolorings on the edges of the borders, like, that sort of, like, technical visual, things I'm seeing. It's just really great. And just the chibi transitions, like, when they have the chibi characters and doing the jokes, it's just so much like Kimi no Todoke, which is why I feel like it's so good. And plus, it's actually reasonably well written. The comedy, that is, anyway. Romance, that's for another time until I finish the series, I guess. But it's really fun. I think it's really good as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think it's good too. I mean,
it's been a long time. I mean, I know people get
Well-
shut off by shoujos as well. This is one of the things, isn't it? Like, not many people like shoujo romances for some reason, because they want these. Well, I'm speaking from like no experience or information. Or
Well,
basis.
no, it's aimed at a different audience, I
Yeah,
guess.
but it doesn't mean you can't enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
That's just why you haven't seen or heard as much.
That's why it's on the
Well-
list while we're talking about it now.
Yeah, well, the thing with, honestly, Haru Ride, you know what it is? This is what I call it. Romance anime, the anime. That's what it is. It is very much...
That's what most shoujos are.
Like, that's exactly what it is, because basically it's the same plot as every serious romance anime. Two characters clearly love each other, and for some unknown angsty reason, won't hook up.
Yep.
Well, in Kimi no Todoke, it was just misunderstanding the anime, where everyone misunderstood what they each said to each other, and nothing happens. But
and that's what it is. But I would say this might be a little bit better than normal, especially because of the main character, because she has her own arc, which is almost irrelevant to him. Like, he's partially the catalyst for her arc, but not the cause nor the solution to her arc. Which is, her arc was she liked being a girly girl, and that made the other girls treat her like she was a slut. And she got slut shamed for 3 years. And when she got into high school and was surrounded by new people, was just like, I'm going to be the most unladylike girl I can possibly be. Like, I am just going to be a slob. And
Which gets played for laughs.
it's played for laughs, but it did get her friends, except for the fact that, of course, that gets her only the most shallow friends. And it's kind of... And while the guy is the catalyst to point this out, like how bad are your friends that they won't even side with you? Like, are you kidding me? Like, when you get in trouble...
Dig.
Like, seriously. And, it caused her to reevaluate it. And then, she makes the choices herself, and it's about her trying to change who she is into who she wants to be. And that's what is making it better for me than just standard romance anime 127, is that it's also coming of age as much as it is romance. And as long as it keeps going that way, I'm on board. I don't know if I would call it one of the best of the season, but it certainly is watchable and enjoyable enough. It's just, he better have a real damn good reason behind his angst.
Why he's so broken.
Yeah.
Because
exactly. What it looks like is, it's like, my parents got a divorce and it destroyed my life.
I am such an angsty main character.
Yeah.
No, he's broken. He needs protection and love. That's why his character is.
Well,
That's why.
and that's the thing, though.
That's how shoujos work.
Right, but he makes like these big romantic gestures pretty constantly, and so it's kind of funny, like, how mixed his signals are.
Yeah.
Like,
there's a specific cringeworthy scene that I think it's meant to be really romantic, but like I don't know, I wasn't feeling it. But like the scene when the school trip, the overnight trip, and what's her name now? Oh my god, Futaba is lying her head on the table because she's really exhausted, and so he comes over, sits down, and for no reason whatsoever, he lays his head right on the table as well, inches away. And you know the moment they can do that, they're just going to turn their heads both at the same time looking towards each other and realising they're too close. And it's like, why? What? Like, there's no situation would you lay your head down on that same table with her that close. Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
Because anime logic?
Because romance anime logic. That's...
No, because in Kimi no Todoke, they would have been too shy and misunderstood each other what they were going to do. That's what would have happened. Just saying. And then maybe 10 episodes later, they might hold hands. Who knows? They might exchange.
But you're right. Like, if you like romance anime, you should be watching this one. It's certainly something you'll enjoy.
It's one of the stronger ones.
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything new, but it does it well.
Yeah,
so,
and we don't mean rom-com, because that's not what this is. This is serious romance. It does have some
actual
it does
romance.
have some light humor, sure, but it's definitely serious romance as opposed to rom-com.
Yeah. I've been told it gets quite heavy with when it concerns to the side characters, because I think sometimes when it comes to these like shoujos, I think the side characters mean a lot, because they're, if anything, the things that causes our main characters to grow almost. You know? They point out the flaws. And from the side characters we've got some reasonably interesting ones, like the girl who loves the teacher, the guy who's like hopelessly in love with with the girl who loves the teacher, his unrequited love, and who's the third one?
The cutie girl,
and who's just lonely, just utter loneliness.
Yeah, but I also like her character because as horribly lonely as she was. Refused.
She's vindictive as hell.
Yeah, well, that was funny. Like when it comes out, her spite comes out. But it was very much like she's coming from the place of this is who I am, and I'm not going to change because of you people. If I have to be alone, so be it. I don't want to be alone, but so be it. And then, but the moment that she got to had the ability to get her own dig in, which was just great. Just if you guys are always bitching about me, I guess that does mean you care. So much for that nonchalance shit. Peace.
Yeah. I think she's so endearing as well, though. Just like anything she does, I just find it's like when the guy asks her, "Are you done with that?" She's like, "Oh yeah, no, I finished eating. Thanks, I'll just borrow the cupcake." She's like, "No."
Yeah, that is it.
There's a special place in hell for you that I'm gonna
steal my
bring
cupcake.
you to. But yeah, I as far as I'm aware, I've been told it gets quite heavy with those these subplots that when referring to these side characters, and I'm really interested to see how it affects the actual main characters, Futaba and such. And it's gonna be, I think, I mean, that's what I say. What's the other big shoujo romance in the season? I might be crazy just not watching it. Is it what show is the other shoujo anime that's airing this season?
Is there another?
There is one?
I thought this was the only one.
Technically, I don't know. Do you consider boys love stuff to be shoujo? Because it is often. I mean, I had Love Stages. I've really been enjoying Love Stage, and I do not like. I never watch yaoi stuff. Because if I'm watching Yuri or I'm watching straight romance, then I can get really not only emotionally involved, but it's also that kind of titillation factor, like, man, I wish I was that guy with that girl kind of thing, right? But when it's yaoi, that's obviously not there for me. Yet I'm very much able to enjoy Love Stage, because it's got the right amount of humor in it. But I worry.
Yeah, I've seen some clips. It seems hilarious.
I worry though after its first arc, which is just kind of finished. I'm worried that it's all downhill from here, because we've done the crazy fun setup, and now we're in for the long will they won't they, and that always pisses me off. So
I guess going for the other for the other shoujo show, I guess you could say Nozaki-kun.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, but there's no. That for me feels more comedy central than it does romance.
Yeah, okay,
that's either A, comedy or B, rom-com. But I think it's just comedy.
Yeah, it feels like. Yeah. But our Haru Ride is I think it's probably the one of the stronger romances anyway. If you're looking for a romance show, I feel. and it's honestly I feel like it's between the gap of like like I said, lovely complex Kimi Todoke and Haru Ride. I mean, they're pretty like shoujo heavy. Like that's how they're pretty like you need to be made of quite stern or softer stuff, not sterner stuff, depending. To be able to enjoy those shows, and Haru Ride seems like it, and I'm looking forward to it since I've missed Kimi Todoke so much. It's been too long for season 3, but yeah, definitely a good show. And then lastly is Barakamon. Now this is a show I feel might not be picked up enough, and probably because of the premise, which is reasonably generic, which is guys get sent a guy who gets sent off to an island with crazy residents, right? And people call it slice of life crap. People call it, I don't know, generic. I don't know what people would call it, what other buzzwords they would use. But yeah,
no, they just say it's slice of life and it's crappy.
Look, hey, slice of life is fun, alright? Slice of life can be good.
There we go. There was the operative word, can be good. Sorry, everybody knows.
It just depends.
I'm well known to very much hate slice of life. I feel like if you can, plot and resolution.
I feel like if you can enjoy
too.
slice of life, you'll probably enjoy lots of slice of life. It's not like the formula needs changing. Right?
Yeah, no, it's just exactly. Like I don't think it's like
do you like slice of life?
I don't think it's like, oh, slice of life, therefore it's crap, or slice of life isn't an art form or anything like that. It's just I do not enjoy it personally.
It's totally understandable.
Except for the very rare ones like Silver Spoon, but that's because it becomes. While it is slice of life, it's also thematically coming of age, and it's also about it's about this guy's life, and it builds, and each season has a climax and a point and character growth, and it is going somewhere.
It's like the farming simulator anime. No, it's not the farming simulator anime. So no, but yeah, I heard it's amazing.
Because and that's actually tying into that into Barakamon. I think Barakamon's almost the same, because I'm enjoying it a lot right now because it does seem to be about character growth. It's about the calligrapher, the main character.
Yeah, it's almost set up to be. So the plot is the calligrapher punches a
gallery owner,
a senior position, because he didn't like his work, and so his manager or his grandfather.
It's his father sends him. Suggests that he take a vacation to the ass end of nowhere.
Yeah, and then to basically tell him to grow up, right? That's basically it's almost giving us hand in hand, saying this is a growing of age story as well. So it's almost set up to be. It just happened to have really great comedy and really great themes behind it.
Yeah.
And it's endearing as hell. Like Naru almost makes the show.
No, she does. She absolutely does.
It's like, I think it's brilliant the fact they voiced an actual. She's voiced by an actual 12-year-old or something. Yeah, an actual young girl. So that definitely helps the like all the endearing points.
Wow.
And yeah, do you not know that was voiced by an actual?
No, I didn't know that.
Naru's a real
child
girl.
Almost.
Yeah. Although she's not that, the voice actress isn't that young, because Naru's a first grader in first grader in elementary school. Yeah. She's 7 years old, and the actress is like 12, but 10 or something.
It's close enough. As close as we'll get. Yeah, as close as we'll get.
But comparatively, Naru sounds like a child as opposed to a 40-year-old woman speaking in a very high pitched voice.
Well, it's a show. I think. Its audio visual is brilliant. Like it effortlessly transitions between its like art styles. So you got that pop colors when they're doing with the chibi just for the comedy effects, and they just bring it back down so nicely with that like brush art style for the normal scenes. It just feels effortless to how they do it, and just makes the comedy so much better. And just the transition for the eyes and the small things that Naru would do, it just kicks in. You're like, this is hilarious, and yet. You just know any moment now you just go back normal and it'd be fine. It's like you totally get it.
Yeah.
It's oh yeah, sorry, you were gonna say?
I was just there's a lot to like about it. Especially, and of course this is the I guess the I speak Japanese elitist thing, but It is so funny to listen to. Their accent that they're speaking with in the countryside, especially the old man, it is unintelligible. Like, it is so funny how he's speaking. And the funny thing is, I lived in Kyushu. I know part of that accent. I spoke part of that accent for over a year. And to hear, like, how crazy this accent is that they're speaking in, it's very funny. It's a linguistic adventure, let me put it that way.
That's what I say, because the closest thing we have to that is I haven't seen the latest episode, but the episode before where he needs to go to the shop to buy some ink, and he meets the two old ladies, and they can't understand what they're saying to each other.
Oh god, yeah, that was great. Yeah,
that seems to be the closest thing to what you're saying.
Because like they both make a contraction of different words. One being what is it? I hurt, itai, and the other one was ito, which is thread. But because of their accent, they become the same word. So it's one is, do you have any pain? Or like the one is like, is hearing, do you have any pain? But what the woman's actually asking is, do you have any thread? And so they just keep asking.
And then he has to like step in and just like, he has to step in and go, I think she means this.
Yeah.
It's a string, or thread, sorry.
Yeah, but and that's the accent is funny, especially when it's coming out of like little Naru, who...
I was about to say, it doesn't Naru have seem to be a reasonable different accent.
Hers is bad.
Because like the way she's pronounced Junon boy, as well. Yeah, that seems hilarious. That's why every time she's like, no. Oh, why am I saying that? Oh my god.
She's pretty fantastic.
Too much caffeine.
And I don't know. It's good to have a show about. It's about their relationship more than anything else. It's about how
just how they affect each other. Yeah. Well, to be fair, like all the other residents also like have a big helping hand. You know, it's more of a collective growing thing. You know, like how they both, the contrast for him thinking he's weird, when in reality he's the one that's weird from all these islanders when he thought they were weird since he was the newcomer. I think that's great as well, that nice aspect they always play on.
Yep.
I just love the character development of the main character, and it's giving me vibes of one of my favorite shows, Welcome to the NHK. Just seeing him fall and try to get back up. It's like he failed pretty badly. Like the critic he punched said his art is like soulless. Like his calligraphy is soulless. So he's been going through focusing so much on his calligraphy, how to add like a soul to it. And it's just entertaining to watch him like struggle with like basic things. And amazing character development. It's great.
I was about to say, I like that because obviously when he said it was his work soulless, now that when he's doing the calligraphy, he's actually doing it after on the spur of the moment, after such an event happens where he's filled with emotions of either happiness or what's the other one he wrote? I can't remember, because he wrote one at the end of the first episode, and he wrote another one just after these like short events. So that clearly he's affected with emotion, and then now he's just expressing it on the things. That's the kind of development he's showing. Though granted, I thought it was a bit weird because he did that anyway in the first episode at the beginning, when he was like that masterpiece he did in the first episode, which got like crap. He was like on the bed laughing like a madman. So I thought, I don't know, maybe there's something.
Well, he says that after that he got writer's block.
Yeah. So maybe it's like fake emotions to real emotions, that sort of thing.
But speaking of that scene though, so like that, I don't know if you've been watching, but make sure you watch after the credits. Because there's always scenes after the credits. And
I love the
one that got me though is like the very first episode is it ends in the climactic moment with him having his first breakthrough, where he very sloppily but artistically draws the kanji for fun, and he's laughing and it's climactic music and it's this real powerful moment. And then after the credits, we see it again from the mayor of the town coming to visit him, and just seeing this guy laughing crazily while throwing paint around. And it's like, oh my god, this guy is insane. And I was just like, oh, yeah, okay. I guess that's true, huh?
Time to go and rewatch the end of the credits.
So.
Oh, they're so funny. Oh my god, they are hilarious. Yeah. I love the fishing scenes, like where Naru's like going, why are you fishing crayfish for? And this is like spoilers. So, sorry, Kevin. Oh. But actually, no, you gotta save it because it's so funny.
It really is. Like that was funny. Like, poor Naru.
Because it's like they're playing on that innocence joke of a young child. Like obviously she doesn't know because she's too young to know why. You know, like I love how
even
they do
how
it, like,
fishing works.
episode.
She doesn't know.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like when she like playing with the paint when she shouldn't be. They're like, hey, you know that'll melt your hand off. She was just like,
oh my
god, my hands are gonna melt. I need these for my future.
And then she just starts running around screaming, which is great.
Yeah. Oh man. But I think it's such a great show, and the cast is great as well. I love the girl with glasses.
Oh, the Fujoshi.
That was yeah.
A nice cameo, by the way, of Soul Eater and Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh,
actually,
in her bag.
Bag of manga. Yeah, I saw
Or
that.
that was great. The hey guys, guess what? We're totally published by Square Enix too. Check out this bag full of Square Enix manga.
The Square Enix goodie bags were sponsored by. Yeah. But I love that. It's like, it's like, what was it? The moment when she first read that yaoi book, and she's like, "No, what are these men doing?" She throws the book away. It's
Her
like,
horror.
And then runs back to it. That was
she's
great.
like, peek. It's like, I don't want people to think I'm a Fujoshi. I'm just like, that's brilliant.
Oh, that's good. Just remember though, in Japanese, the word otaku is not a good thing. It does not mean fanboy in any kind of innocent sense. It is an incredibly, incredibly pejorative term.
Yeah, but she like.
It means that
and
you're a
Fujoshi?
hypersensitive fan.
Right. And well, it means you're like otaku literally is the word for house. It means you never leave the house because you are so obsessed with something.
Oh wow,
Yes.
that's crazy. I thought it just meant fan of
No,
something.
no,
so
no,
it
no.
could be like an
Oh, no.
idol or
It's
otaku.
literally the kanji
Oh,
for
okay.
house. Like if you
I
were
thought, like,
speaking
you
in
could-
polite Japanese and you were saying I'm going home, you would actually use the same word, otaku. It's honorable house.
Okay.
It just means the slang version is you never leave your house because you're too obsessed. Fujoshi is even worse. Like
Yeah.
it's like unwantable girl basically is because a Fujoshi, wow, like it's just like you are too obsessed with homosexual manga and homosexual anime to do anything with your life. Like they're the stereotype is the fattest, ugliest, dirtiest, like room just full of garbage, like literal trash because they don't move kind of girl. So yeah, like her reaction to not wanting to be called a Fujoshi, yeah, very real.
It's absolutely
And,
hilarious.
it's over the top, it's
Absolutely
hilarious, but it's also very true and understandable. Especially when you see that, like, she may be obsessed kind of mentally with it. Like, you see her room and, like, her physical appearance, that she's definitely not a Fujoshi in that way. So I can understand why she'd panic like that, even though it's paid for laughs.
Yeah, especially the art in that episode. That specific episode just changed drastically. The whole the noir black and white scenes, like it was just the sketches of their faces, like when they're in shock. Is brilliant, and then obviously Naru at the beginning where she's got like this super old face.
Oh yes,
because the child trying to
her
act like
1980s anime face. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's brilliant, and it's just like, can you read this? She's like, in the English word like for open here, she's like, opening. And she's like, yeah, that's close enough. You tell everyone how to read this. She's like, thank you.
Well, that's the thing is, like, the girls pulled a horrible joke on Naru right there. Because it says, if you read it in katakana, it was, Akedo or whatever. But the problem is, of course, that the final thing there isn't katakana. It's the kanji for mouth, or opening, or entrance. And so it looks like Odrol, which is the katakana. And so she's reading it all as katakana, and then they tell her to go off and tell everybody how she can read it. When it's just a trick to make her look stupid. And I was like, you people are horrible. Why would you do that to this little girl?
It's just playing on that innocence joke again. Like it's just like ever since the first episode where she's like, the guy asks Naru, how do you know these words? You're too young to know these words. And she's like, and the high school girl's like, yeah, she hangs around with us, and we just say whatever we do. And he's just like, you can't be saying this in front of this 7-year-old. Shield her from these words. But yeah, I love how they play on her innocence as a child. So it's great comedy in that sense.
Yep.
But yeah, Barakamon, a really fun slice of life growing of age story, like Richard says, and I think it's definitely worth a watch. Like, I don't think you'll be missing out if otherwise. I feel it's just certainly so good, especially that opening. Oh,
It's a real good opening. Yeah.
that the use of silence was brilliant. I love the use of silence there. Like, it's rare for a really good, well-placed use of silence in music, but that's just me. Right, so they're the 4 shows that we think would be great. You know, if you're not watching, definitely try and pick them up if you can, and you know, and try and enjoy them. Which are Survival Game Club, Invaders, Haru Ride, and Barakamon. Totally simplified the first.
What was the
2.
reason we didn't have Nozaki-kun on this?
It was the amount of people watching or something. But
I'm
that is an
still not
honorable
watching.
mention that honorable mention. Nozaki-kun is like a total spin on. It's a comedy based on shoujo manga. It's like, it's great.
Yeah.
It's probably my favorite 4-panel adaptation. So.
There's a lot of good 4-panel adaptations. Like, I'm not thinking.
It's a good one.
Yeah, it's definitely good. Yeah, it's definitely.
Yeah,
good,
it's all about, especially, and that's one that's very, very much like, you have to know how shoujo manga works to find it funny. If you haven't watched shoujo manga, you won't get the jokes really. So, or watch.
I feel like
shoujo
the
anime.
barrier has been slightly higher now. It's like, you need to watch more anime, guys. Come
Like
on, look.
the latest episode was based on dating sims, and
That was funny.
that was
I've
hilarious.
yet to see that,
It was
yeah.
hilarious.
So
But you
But you
probably
have to
have to
know.
play some dating sims to really understand why it's so
Yeah.
funny.
but we're an anime podcast, right? So we don't have to worry about that, guys. Not till
No,
later.
that
Not
was
till later.
hilarious though. Their whole
That was
thing
amazing.
with the best friend,
I've yet to see
the
it,
best
sorry.
friend character that is
Toboda.
yes,
Oh my
the
God.
the best friend character whose sole job in those games is just to support you, and they kind of ended up taking it to its logical extreme, and wrote an entire shoujo manga about it, about the sub character.
So great.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
But yes, all right. So that said, these are the shows that we feel like, you know, they're really good for the first few openings we've had, right? In the opening season that we feel like not many people are
Yeah.
watching. And for the open topic, which we're going to do, I'm going to say, is the series that we feel that this first set of openings just grabbed us. That, you know, in our gut feeling, we just suddenly go, this show's so good, I'm just going to watch all of it. It's so good, like I have to watch all of it now. You know, those sort of shows, you know, those, after that first, second, third episode, you're just thinking, my God, this is great. I need to stay around for this show. It seems to be going places, you know. I can tell everyone about it and they can laugh at me all they want.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely, you know, and in that sense, because a lot, you know, most beginning of season, everyone's quite skeptical. I know David is. You're reasonably skeptical of most opening shows. And but obviously everyone has their own, you know, gut feelings, so thinking, oh my God, this show's so good, just everyone has to watch it now, please. And we all have our own, right? So we'll start off, and we have roughly 3 each, I think. So we'll start off with you, Richard.
With me? Oh.
Yeah, you've
Oh,
got the vast repertoire. of anime,
I
yeah.
do. I've narrowed mine down. I should mention that before we get into this, that we've done
we'll spoil it,
we're going to
everything.
spoil some stuff, like very much so. But also, we've been very good not to repeat each other. So
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
So this may not be representative, but it's more like to give a good cross section of anime that really start well and grab you.
Yeah,
for
it
the
does.
whole
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. Just to point out, they have to be blisteringly amazing. It could just be small things in some episodes that you thought, my God, it's amazing. Even though some people might find it slow, you find it amazing. That's what we're looking for. These are the shows we want to know that, you know, we found personally, and other people, which I'll say later on, they found just amazing, that hooked them on from episode 1, 2, 3, and 4, and whatnot.
Okay.
But so, Richard, your list.
Okay, well, we'll start
You're free.
with one that's probably pretty obvious, I would think, which would be Madoka Magica. The first 3 episodes. And the first 3 episodes are the introduction and the first twist. The third episode, again, spoilers. Third episode is the death of Mommy. She gets killed at the end of the episode. It's all the setup, which is interesting enough, except you always feel that there's something more going on. And then, lo and behold, yeah, we find out this is not your standard magical girl anime by any stretch of the imagination, that there's a lot of darkness to be found in this one.
Because of Urobuchi.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, even not knowing
Well,
that Urobuchi is doing
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Just
Because they actually tried to hide that fact. It actually got leaked that Urobuchi was doing Madoka beforehand. But like, imagine if no one knew it. Like people were expecting it because it was Urobuchi when it got leaked. But like, just trying to imagine what it would have been like if you didn't.
Well,
know
and
at
that's
that
the thing.
time.
Actually, in
Yeah.
Japan, a lot of people that were watching it. Most of the people that were watching it were the hardcore magical girl otaku. That's who was watching it when it first started, and then they didn't know or care who the director was. They cared who the studio
Well,
was.
I feel like at least like some section of like Uro Butcher fans. Like I was watching it was like, oh, Uro Butcher's doing a magical girl show. I gotta watch that.
Yeah.
Oh, I was on the other train. I happened to watch it after everyone's finished watching it, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, Madoka's like anime of the year." I'm like, "I've never heard of it. Let's give it a watch." And just watched in. But there were hints though. Like visually, there were hints. Like just from the if you just look at the what you saw, when what was the thing called? I can't remember. Kyubey.
Mm-hmm.
He's got dead eyes. His mouth doesn't move when he talks. These are like indications of don't talk to it. Don't just run away, right? Yeah. Surely, I mean, maybe I'm just scared of everything.
No. Well, I mean, and then the whole animation style with the witches.
Oh,
that is
exactly.
so disturbing.
It's so abstract and crazy. Like, you're thinking that can't be right. Like, what's ever happening? Like, even the transformation scenes, they're not as they're there, but like but there's just it's oblivious to what's actually in the scene they're doing it in.
And
you're just thinking, and the use of the black as well,
absolutely.
especially in the first 2 episodes when they're chasing Kyubey, everything's dark. Homaru comes in, she's dressed in black. A lot of that could be something else, but there's visual indications, but you have to be really keen on it. Obviously, after watching it, we now know.
Well, that's the thing.
This
is definitely one of those things where after you've watched the whole series, if you go back and watch those first 3 episodes, there's so much more there. These things that at first seem like kind of slow or trivial or they're just not really connected are actually very much connected. It's just on the second watch when you're getting it more through the Homura side, the Homura point of view. Suddenly, the whole thing changes. And
this sounds so familiar. Rock and Fatalis.
Actually, I don't know if you guys. Well, I know some of you, but it's like in Breaking Bad, I think season 4 with this is so spoiled. So if you haven't seen it, just say so now before I stop. Before I say it, with in season 4, where you see the bear in the swimming pool, and it's half.
Oh, and it foreshadows, yeah.
Yeah, that's such like if you watch Madoka does that so perfectly well as well, just as good almost. I feel it's just like that foreshadowing is just really well done. And it still happens after Mami's death. Like, it keeps happening, and it's just really great when it does that. I feel.
And I guess I'm going to spoil part of our podcast here. This is far from the only Urobuchi thing we mention, and this is because. Largely, in my opinion, because not only the twists and the deconstruction, but the structure of how he makes his anime. His storytelling structure is always in 3-episode chunks. Always. He keeps it in those 3-episode chunks. Same in Madoka, same in Aldnoah, same in what else?
Psychopaths, Gargantia.
He always has them in these kind of 3-episode chunks where he explores a theme or a character or something like that. So when it comes to watching the first 3 episodes of one of his, they're usually very strong because it's built that way. Fundamentally the structure of the show is built that way. But
actually, I was about to say, sorry, carry on. My point was trivial.
That's it. That's pretty much it for Madoka.
I was about to say, because Urobuchi is also well known for his strangling scenes ever since Fate Zero and every other show afterwards. I'm just wondering to myself, in Madoka, did anyone get strangled? Like the strangled to death scene? Because obviously in Fate Zero you had the priest did it to wow, I'm such bad with names now. Thing Face,
Thing Face,
that character. Gargantia.
The guy who's like on drugs or looks like that.
Yeah. So was anyone who strangled to death in Madoka? This is such a morbid.
I feel it's not like necessarily strangled to death. It's just like the strangled face.
Oh yeah. The eyes pop.
Yeah, there's definitely that in Madoka. I don't remember. It's just like, when they were I remember just at some point. I just remember. I know one of them made the face. I think it was Madoka. She made the face when someone was suffering at some time, or like she was being, or like maybe one was when she was dying near the end, like when. Like the first time Homura does for the reset, like right before she dies, she does the strangled face.
Oh, did Homura strangle her? Oh, okay.
No. It's
No,
just that
it's
they
just
were
the
both
face.
dying, but like she was getting absorbed.
Oh,
by
okay,
it.
okay.
It's just the
yeah.
face, like she was getting.
He loves that face.
Like she was dying,
He loves
like
it.
and right before
Yeah,
Homura
yeah.
shot her, like she was. I think she was making the face.
Fair enough.
Okay.
So on second list.
Second on my list is time for backstory. Between the years of 2005 and 2011, I watched maybe a grand total of 5 anime. I went from watching dozens to 5 for that entire period. It was just, I had moved to
Counts on my
Japan,
hand.
and I was surrounded by it, and it just didn't, like, I was surrounded by, Japanese, and I started watching dramas instead, and yeah, anime just kind of went away. It had to be something real special for me to come back. And the way that I usually came back to them was I would just be flipping channels late at night and would catch something, like half an episode of something. And for whatever reason, by dumb luck, I caught the first episode of Panty and Stocking.
Wait, when did that air? I forgot now. Is it 09?
That was like it was like
09 or
2010, 2011, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was 010.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
010.
Man, that's
Winter-
4 years.
winter
I nearly said
10,
5.
I
think
4
so,
years
yeah.
ago. Yeah.
Winter 010,
Yeah.
I think.
That's 4 years
Yeah,
ago.
and
Oh my
so
God.
like I randomly caught that, and I could not believe what I was watching. It is
'Cause
almost
it's
anti-anime in what it is.
It almost
it's-
feels like a
it-
Cartoon Network show. Like you could see that on Cartoon Network.
Yeah,
well,
it's-
not like this,
right.
like this art
It's
style.
Adult Swim kind of show.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
Japan, and it's weird.
And and the fact that it's the shorter episodes, it's the crazy Powerpuff Girls style, only done in this horribly raunchy, dirty humor, and oh yeah, no, I was on board, like from the very beginning. It even though I was heavily turned off by the first episode, I was so like just enthralled by it, like just the concept, that I kept watching, and it just got better and better. And the fact that in the first 3 episodes it's actually 6 episodes, because it's every episode's 15. It's
every
15
episode,
minute.
every like block is 2.
Sorry, every episode is
yeah.
2 15-minute chunks, 2 stories,
Okay.
and
okay.
independent stories. And it's funny, it's raunchy, it's over the top, it's hilarious. And yeah, it's just so. And of course, these are the people who made Gurren Lagann and FLCL and Kill la Kill. So yeah.
And Medica Box.
Well,
That's
they
another
actually,
poorly
no, never mind. Yeah, I
sold
wouldn't
anime.
do that still.
The only thing I know, I haven't seen the show, but the only thing I know about Panty and Stocking is that the guy with the afro, isn't his ability something to do with him not being able to have an erection? Isn't that his ability?
He's a masochist, like crazy, over the top, full bondage gear underneath his priest robes. Masochist.
Oh, okay, all right.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
But no, it's funny. It's good. It's good stuff. It makes fun of magical girl stuff a lot, and has a good old time. If you want to see an anime that's very much unlike anything else out there in the anime world, definitely Panty and Stocking. And if you want something really crazy, watch it dubbed. That's my suggestion.
Is that like with any anime? If you want something really, just watch it dubbed, man.
Well, that's the thing. Like, it's a lot of the time the subs are usually the most accurate because they don't have to worry about matching the mouths. Dubs usually keep the same meaning. You know what I mean? Like they keep the same basic meaning of the sentence, but they might change around a couple words here or there so that it matches the mouth movements. The dub of Panty and Stocking is we'll hit the major plot points, but every like vile piece of dialogue we're not going to just translate it. We're going to make it culturally appropriate to match like how vile and raunchy it is in Japanese. We're going to make it just as vile and raunchy in English. And it's not a very good translation, but is a fantastic localization. And honestly, like, yeah, I've started going back through and watching it dubbed, and I'm just like, this is just as fantastic. This is great. Yes,
so
I know,
something
insult
else,
to
it's
all
like
you
if you
anime
were watching
purists
it
out
when
there.
it aired. Oh man, but there's something interesting. Like if you know, I don't know. Well, if you've seen it, obviously you know what happened on the ending.
Yeah.
The crazy ending. That aired on Christmas, and so the meme is Skynex ruined Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, if you want to know what happens, go watch the show.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. But
And,
and my third one, I kind of hesitated doing this since I just did Panty and Stocking, but Kill la Kill. Kill la Kill's first 3 episodes are really, really tightly written. And it basically gets you to a series-ending climax at the 3rd episode. And that is something fantastic. You get the climax of the whole series, basically. That you get that kind of an episode 3 episodes in. The first episode is the origin and first battle. The second episode is kind of explaining the slower scenes that were cut out of the first episode, how exactly she got into the superpower magical girl uniform. And then the 3rd episode is her versus the big bad in a full superpower battle that is one of the most over-the-top extreme fights you will ever see, where a hit doesn't just cause a giant shockwave. No, it causes an explosion, which then turns into an implosion, which then turns into an even bigger explosion.
And then you see all the students flying around
as it happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And that's what it is. It's a lot of flash.
It's quite explosive. It's certainly very explosive. Its first few episodes, like you said. Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's just very, very, very tight. It's like, this is what it's going to be, and we're going to show you how this series is going to be, and this is what you can expect. And just great animation, fantastic music. Again, by the same people who did Panty and Stocking, only in their new studio. And yeah, like it's a good one. It's a real fun, over the top, crazy action show.
Yeah, I'm actually really surprised how well they kept it, how tight they kept it throughout all 26 episodes. Like even if they did, just kind of dip down a little bit with the intensity level of who she's fighting, it's still really done nice, packed and and compact into the episode.
Especially, and I'll mention this. There's a point halfway through the show where she, of course, loses her superpower costume, right? And she has to reclaim it. A very standard shonen trope, right? I thought that was going to be the whole second half, and I was so depressed. But Kill la Kill said, no, we're doing this in 2 episodes.
It's like, give her a motorbike, give her a sword, done.
Right, and that was the thing.
I'll travel all across Japan on this motorbike.
Yeah, and I mean, they even they're very much aware that that's what they're doing. That they're not
with the recap episode, or just like it's like
the recap episode that is literally a minute long and takes place before the opening credits of one of the episodes. Yeah, where they flat out are like, look how breakneck the pace is. We just did a recap episode.
Even our recap episodes are
so fast. That's it. And no, it's great. It's amazingly well paced. It does not do any of the BS padding that you find that like defines shonen, like Dragon Ball Z, or Naruto, or One Piece, where you have one battle that lasts 25 episodes. Kill la Kill's like, yeah, that's BS. Let's do it in 5 minutes. And yeah.
It doesn't disappoint visually either. It does work, surprisingly.
And everybody was afraid of the budget, because they're a new studio. This is their first show. Everybody was afraid that, they don't have a lot of money in, and we were afraid that it was going to look horrible at times. And it kept a consistent quality, so that was really nice.
I thought it just helped the art style they chose, which was the rough sketches, and the fact is it's not too required. Like they didn't go for super detail. They went for the rough sketch animation, so that they can get away with some of the repeat shots and repeat drawings. If this is from what I've seen anyway. So to be fair, it works. It's not like, this looks so poorly budgeted. It works. They knew with their constraints and their budget. They're like, look, we can't draw the most sophisticated effects on screen. We'll just do the art style, which is this art style. We can get away with a lot of repeat animation, and it works. I think so. It's fine.
It's interesting because their first thing, because they actually their first thing was actually like a kickstarted anime thing, Little Witch Academia. It
Oh,
was
I
triggered,
love Little Witch
and they
Academia,
and it was because they actually kickstarted that, so that was kind of interesting. And to go from that to
Did they
something
kickstart
kill.
the first one? I thought it was only the second one they kickstarted.
I think what is the first one or the second one? I
No,
don't
the
remember
second one.
which
Yeah,
it
because
was.
the first one just came
No,
out.
the first one it was for it literally was a hey guys, we make anime
promotion
thing, and it was for
pro
a
bono
competition,
work.
like Imagination in Anime competition, that they made it.
I love how
Yeah.
senior positions from Gynax had to enter a competition.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, we need some funds. We need to let people know we're here.
Yeah,
but
it's
but
like,
it did.
surely
I mean, they
this
got
is
their
fine.
funding after that,
Yeah.
and
It
Little Witch
works, yeah.
Academia was so popular that the Kickstarter, the Kickstarter that asked for a very very small amount of money for anime, which was $150,000, got like $600,000. So.
It's a nice success
that's-
story. Nice success story.
Just so you know, that's very cheap for an episode of an anime. $150,000. That's kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
For example, Korra, Legend of Korra, that's $1 million per episode on that one.
Yeah,
Your
but
average
don't forget,
anime,
different tax rates.
Well, but your average anime
Well,
is
surely different tax rates and payrolls and stuff. I would have thought would be quite.
well, it's a
different.
Korean
I mean, this is
studio
from
that
being-
does Korra.
Oh,
yeah.
is it? Oh, yeah, but surely.
And-
I can't. I'm not gonna do the
And
maths.
then let me think
I'm
though,
not gonna try to figure it out.
the average for an anime episode is usually $350,000 to $600,000. So saying that you can make Little Witch Academia for $150,000 is kind of crazy, but apparently that's how they did it. So go Trigger.
Alright. So following on the belated theme of Urabochi's series that people pick as their first gripping episodes, Kevin, I believe, picked one as well for one of your three
Yep.
as your starting three. So would you care to explain which?
Gargantia on the Verdurous planet. Gargantia is interesting because it has an amazing opening, but then the rest of the show is kind of meh.
It happens. It happens.
Yeah, but it starts off amazingly with an epic plot, kinda, and I love. Okay, so you're a human in the I don't remember the exact plot, but
Some federation.
so the
It's like
Federation or something, and then you get you get sent to this backlog planet on the edge of the galaxy, aka Earth, and so he has to deal with locals, and I just love how they did that, how they had a different language because they are different people and they don't speak the same thing, and he had to actually grow and learn and learn to understand how they live. And
No universal translator.
yes, that's one. It's suspension of
Thanks.
disbelief almost always just throws that out, but this actually remembers that doesn't happen in real life. So
Thanks
Ever.
to Anime Jarvis. Don't forget, he had Anime Jarvis.
Yeah, he did.
to-
He
to-
had
to
Chamber
fix
there to
it.
talk for him. But no, you're right. And actually, I'm thinking those first 3 episodes, like that does have the first time that he really goes out there and saves Gargantia. That's the 3rd episode, right? And
Yeah,
and
'cause
that's
the
the
pirate lady
and that's the
came
point
by.
where like he, we have somebody thinking about the implications of the whole thing, which is, oh no, we have literally a weapon of mass destruction and we just used it. We have alienated ourselves from basically everyone. Like, all bets are off now that we've basically nuked the people who came against us.
It's like how Kevin said, like when he entered it had this like really well they enveloped the world of the new Earth. You know how these crazy sea water. Did he tell Luda what the sparkling things underwater was?
Yeah, I
Because
think
the
that's like episode
octopus
2
things?
or something.
Yeah. So he slowly learns, like, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And because obviously that technological disparity, because he's from he's from future Federation people, and these guys are like so backlogged with their technology. I think it's really nice how they slowly introduce the new Earth, and then the implications, like you said, Richard, of how he's got a weapon from almost the future. It seems it's like and how all the other ships banned towards Gargantia because of that. And they decided to stay on. It's like they just have these. There's a chain effects of what happens, and then what happens to him, and obviously Chambers.
Yep.
Yeah, it's quite nice. I like Gargantius. But your other two?
they're both my personal favorite shows. They're one of my favorites. Code Geass, because very few shows do world building and getting you interested in the world like Code Geass.
And cheat at chess.
And having a complete jerk ass as the protagonist.
Yeah.
I think he did nothing wrong, but that's my opinion.
Oh, yeah, he does everything right, at least, according to what he thinks he should be doing. But
According
he's a jerk
to
about how he goes
Kotaku.
about it.
Look, we didn't know this in the first 4 episodes, alright? So sorry, carry on.
I mean, it's a show that personally piques my interest, so, and it hit all of the notes. It's like, what would you like? And then that's what Code Geass is essentially. It's a mech that's character-focused and is interested in people instead of robots. It cares about history and world building, even though it screws with it over and over again. And I appreciated it. Everything it did, I loved. And that's why it's my favorite show.
And it kept the stuff that people already loved before. A high school boy who attends a private academy, who's on the student council. Like, it just hits, it ticks all the boxes for the character. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I was hooked.
Yeah, I mean, especially was it the first 3 episodes, we have the scene where he masterminds a rebel, I can't remember what happens.
Resistance.
Resistance. Well, yeah, but I'm just trying to specifically what happened, because isn't it just them fighting back?
They quarantine a part of the city, and they start to close the gate. They start to close the news.
And he kills Clovis in the first episode. Don't forget. And then the second episode is him, like, the repercussions of what he does. Like, he's throwing up. He doesn't realize, his body's. He hasn't got used to the whole killing people and everything like that. I think that's quite good. And then the newscast and is it newscast? Does that happen in episode 3 where they tell them they're gonna kill everyone in this sector, and he has to go back and remastermind a defense. I think that happened in the first 3 episodes. I might just be mashing up episodes now.
Yeah, it might be, but yeah. A lot of good stuff happened in the first 3 episodes that set up the whole series, and I was definitely hooked.
It's a very good series, yeah. And then the third one, Kevin?
Welcome to the NHK. It's like I mentioned it when we were talking about Barakamon, but in NHK they have a loser protagonist, Sato, but they portray his he's a NEET, and that's the issue. He has hallucinations, and those are amazing. And I love how the first 3 episodes just show how much wrong has gone because of his being a NEET. And it sets the world, and it has great character development. And at the beginning, that's something that I really appreciate. Character development right off the bat is something that I personally think should be in every show. I mean, a lot of shows like that.
You've got to do it.
Right.
A lot of shows that have their epic. A lot of shows have their epic, let's kill everybody right off the bat type of opening, but you need that.
Let's hit Earth with a bunch of flying castles. Oh, I'm sorry.
And
standard plot.
And NHK just does character development so well in the first 3 episodes. They establish that he's a loser. They establish that he wants to change. They establish how much he has to do. How
far he has to go.
And how far he has to go. And they show that how in Barakamon the main character is an absolute jerk. In NHK they show how much of a weirdo, and it's the same kind of thing. If you like NHK, you like Barakamon. If you like Barakamon, you'll like NHK.
I mean, this is from my perspective. The beauty of the NHK is that the guy, because he's a NEET, he's a proxy of our story as well. He's closed off the world off from him anyway, so that gives the writers room to express just him. They don't have to worry about too much of the external stuff, which helps him grow anyway. I think that's what maybe the beauty. I mean, you can totally argue that's completely bullshit, but the fact that he's a NEET, a guy who closed off from the world, into just his room and a computer, it opens up much more time and space for you to write about him rather than anything else, so he can grow. And you introduce maybe 2 encounters in the first 3 episodes. The person, the people handing out the pamphlets about NEETs, and some delivery person. That's the only other 2 characters you meet, and it just shows how easy it is just for him to grow. Eventually, you meet his best friend later on, but that's quite far down the line, I think. So that really helps with what you're saying, the character development. It comes easily, it just flows in. So there's 2 characters to write about.
Yep.
But yeah, I do love that scene with him and his best friends. Like we should make a game. He goes, I've got no skills. I'm a NEET. He goes, it's okay. We can make a dating sim, a rogue game. And it's like, oh yes, I can do that. I need material. Let me download the pictures. It's like I had no space. I had to delete. Was it what did he delete? It's like
system files.
Yeah, system files. Like, I didn't need those. There was no pictures of them. I needed more research material. But yeah, that was a killer scene, I thought. Shame it just got really depressing afterwards. It didn't get any more funny than that.
Well, if you're into black comedy, then you'll love it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and still sticking the theme there with Urobuchi. Calvin, you also have a Urobuchi
yes,
series.
I had to have one. Alright, so my first one is going to be Fate Zero. And of course, for Fate Zero, this is going to be like a reoccurring theme, is whether or not I had read the source material before then. But for Fate Zero, I actually had read all of Fate Zero before the anime aired. And so what's really good about the beginning of Fate Zero, it's actually weird because it's actually like 50 minutes long. It's like the length of 2 episodes.
No,
yeah. It's
like that's the first weird thing. It's just like, wow, like can they do that? Are you allowed to do that? You can just take up two time slots on the air. All right, that's just an aside. But basically, because it's really good, because just they took that one longer episode and they just like they covered, like if you wanted to compare it to the light novel, they covered the first like part of it, the first like chord or like. I don't even remember.
He's so excited.
It ended up because I remember it because I read it recently before the anime. I'm just like, they fit it. They adapted it really well. Like even just like the ending part, it's like the anime. I was like thinking to myself, like this is what I saw in my mind when I was reading the light novel. I was like, this is it. I'm like
the perfect envision.
It
just perfectly.
Yeah, no, that happened a couple of times in Fate. There's a couple of times where it messed up. It wasn't like my mind, but it was just like this was one of the parts. Was like this is exactly how I envisioned it, and it was great.
The problem with a lot of these shows in the beginning is that they don't explain anything. Like Fate Zero's 45 minutes, 50 minutes of exposition is the greatest thing I've seen in a long time when it comes to shows like that. It's getting the
especially because like Fate is like with
so
Fate and everything.
Much. There's so much
all
to
of the
explain.
Mechanics of the Holy Grail War just don't make sense unless you just get a clear
It's got such a convoluted
convoluted
set of rules in it, hasn't it? Like in laws within their realm in their realm. So they needed that, I think, quite a lot.
Yeah, so having that good introduction there was just like, all right. I'm like for that first episode, it's like, man, they nailed it. It's like I didn't even have any complaints even after even having read the light. I was like, nope, that's how it went when I remembered it.
And besides, in the first episode too, was that Berserker was introduced, wasn't it? And he was like kind of badass. Everyone was just like, oh shit, it's Berserker. Everyone leg it. It's like, okay, leg it, lads, leg it. But I have to say, I didn't know that Fate Zero was a light novel first. I thought it was actually all original.
No, it was a light novel.
No, it was a light novel.
But Urobuchi did write the light novel, so there's that.
Urobuchi did write the light novel,
okay.
and then was on the team to help with the anime.
Okay.
That all makes sense.
So
cool. Yeah.
And then your second anime?
Alright, second anime. I'm going with Sword Art Online.
Richard would agree with you of the first few episodes.
I agree.
It's good. The very first episode of Sword Art Online, I hadn't read the light novels yet. After the first episode, I was like, all right, I gotta read. That's like
moving on.
It doesn't happen often, but it's kind of what I was. That's kind of what I hope from anime. It's just like, this is so good. I'm going to read the source material right now because I need to know what happens next. Because I think like the first episode of Sword Art Online was just it covers like, now that I've read the light novel, it covers the prologue and like the first chapter. And then it deviates because it does the side stories for in between, and at times skips a lot, and a lot of people didn't like that. But I'm just like, no, it's because the light novel does it one way and the anime does it the other way, or whatever. But aside from that, from the first episode, it was just, it covers that part well. It covers the idea of what Sword Art Online is just at the start. It covers that all.
It sets the stakes perfectly.
It sets the stakes.
It makes,
there you go.
like, it has an epic feel that like many shows cannot nail on the first episode. It nails it. It's epic.
Everything about it grabbed me. You see, the thing about Sword Art Online with me was, I came back to anime last year. This was the first one, and it was perfect. I loved it.
Yeah, the thing that
I've been like it's just like, even at the end, like he just like he makes the act of just killing that single wolf
It just
like
it
like
looks
when he's running to
so-
the next level. It looks so great, and it's just like
I've-
it's impactful because it's bringing up the idea. It's like just finally solidifying that like if I screw up, I'm gonna die.
But I'm just
still
gonna
fighting
run
anyways.
forward
I'm
and
gonna
I'm gonna
run
go.
and I'm gonna one-shot this wolf.
I am just
Yeah.
gonna go forward and I'm going to win. That's
I
what
was
they're
gonna-
saying.
I want to bring up that actual particular scene because I think what this does as well with Fate Zero is it explains the narrative. Its narrative device is brilliant. It's instead of just explaining how shit works, like you're in a video game, just swing and do damage. He physically shows what happens if you do this
Like
and
he,
this
yeah,
correctly.
like he shows
Yeah.
like how the skills work.
Yeah, yeah,
like
like
that game.
physically,
And, like,
yeah.
Just
and it's
gotta let it
necessary for what
flow.
happens later.
Yeah, the thing is, they do it visually. That's the main thing
Yeah.
for a narrative device. Because Fate Zero, they had to granted it was a 45 episode, so they had time and space. But in, Sword Art, they quickly did it because he logs in real quick. He does some of the combat
I
straight
mean, it's
away.
like, hey man, I don't know how to play this game. Can you show me how to play this game? It's like, yeah, you do this, and then it's
And
like,
it just
okay,
it
yeah,
just
all right,
sets
I get it.
it just kind of sets that stage where it's just a video game. You're just going around, you're having fun, and then that's how the end of the episode got good because it's like that's not like that anymore.
Yeah, but
No,
it's a
this-
really
this
powerful
is real
narrative
now.
device. Yeah, that I think it was because of that scene with him and Klein, that narrative device
It-
with him just showing how everything works. It just sets the entire,
Oh,
like you
yeah.
said, the theme of it.
Well,
It
Because
just-
of that, it works.
His relationship and Klein's relationship in that whole scene, yes, it definitely lends a certain credence to the rest of the episode.
Yeah. Well, no, just the mechanics.
Well,
but yeah. And then
yeah, the thing about Sword Art
sorry?
Online
Nope.
that it did really well, and especially in the early episodes, is actually through the whole first half, is world building. It is fantastic
Yes.
world building. Again, it's things like you said, like the skills and doing it how it works. But it shows it's very interested in this world that they've created and how society is
Yeah.
evolving inside the world. And
Yeah, there's rapidly a social system that develops,
Right.
and they show that at least a little bit.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
And each episode, even beyond the first three, like the first what is it? The second episode is dealing with the fact that there's animosity between
We have
the
to-
newbies
we have to beat the boss,
and the people who are in the beta test.
Testers.
And to the point where it looks like it can get real bad, like a permanent divide. And so, of course, Kirito does the one possible way to unify a group of people, which is make yourself the bad guy.
So, no, I'm the
Yeah,
beater.
I'm so far. I'm so
Like,
much
those-
worse than all of you people that it's not even funny. So yeah, and
You
eventually
are
that goes
bad.
away. Eventually everyone's experienced. So he's just treated as a normal person. But he gives them a sense of unity at the beginning. And and each episode builds on that. Even beyond the first three, we get him having to deal with his first friend dying. We get to see what it's like when you are way behind the front line and you're going along and your pet character dies. That's a completely different story, but it builds the world. It shows another aspect. We're not always following Kirito at the front lines. We'll go back, we'll see what it's like to be a merchant, we'll see what it's like to be much lower level, we'll see what it's like to be in a big guild as society builds and goes on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, certainly excellent in that aspect.
So yeah, the first episode had me. Second episode kept it going, and just went from there.
And then episode 14, they just throw it into the fire. They're like,
Okay, yeah, in episode
We
14.
got the money.
But I'm just like, oh, now you should read. If you want to read, just read the light novels. They're pretty good too. You don't have to watch this part.
Well, and that's the
It's just-
important thing
yeah,
to remember
yeah.
about Sword Art Online, which is the most brilliant part of it, which is
Is the beginning.
Is that no, it's the whole idea of it is you can restart it and recreate it or in many different ways, like as many different ways as you want.
Okay, yeah,
So we can
Absolutely.
do Death Game, then we can do classical Rescue the Princess, then we can do cyberpunk murder mystery, then we can do coming of age, which is Mother's Rosario. Then we can do a whole nother story for Alicization, and each time we're able to take the same characters but kind of reset how everything works, but still continue the story. So it's one of the very few where you can have a very mediocre arc. I don't think Alfenheim Online is as bad as everybody says. I think it's just as bad as
I
everyone
feel like
says.
everyone just
Embarrassing.
everyone just wants to get on the hate wagon.
It's
for
just
that.
in
I
comparison.
think it comes from the first arc was great.
It's like
The
it's
second
not as
arc
good
was
as the first one, so it doesn't seem
Right.
as good.
I just hate the fact
comparatively.
that Kirito cheated. Like that's just the point that just grinds me out the most.
Well, okay, well, like if you okay, this is like a fan theory.
Hey, we're getting hollow fragments.
If you connect it to Excel
This
World.
was damn it, you can't. First of all, you bring up that Excel World argument.
No, man, it's so good. It's so good. I'm like, my mind's blown because it's the beginning of the incarnate system. Because nerve gears existed in Excel World, and oh my.
See, to me, that's not even a fan theory.
If you think of it that way, then it's
okay.
That's true. That's what it is.
Going...
They're the same show. Like, let's be serious. Sword Art Online and Excel Saga, Excel World are the same show. It's just
done by different studios.
Yeah, same authors, different
it's written
studios,
by the same guy.
They're the same thing. It's just one is a much later story arc than the other.
Yeah.
So yes, of course, like everything in Sword Art Online leads to Excel World. It's very obvious, I've just got to move a little faster. I've just got to be a little faster. I mean, that's Kirito's like arc words, and also the main character of Excel World's arc words is I've just got to be a little faster. Come on, it's it's not a fan theory. It's just we're seeing a much later part of the story. That's all.
We're just seeing the the beginning technology of VR is what like neurolinker things are in Excel World. That's what they'll become in the future.
That's it.
Okay,
I'm still salty.
And then there's there's this non-canon side story in one of the light novels where Kirito fights the
Which
guy
is
from
so
Excel
weird.
World. It's so good.
Oh.
It's just so. I was like, this doesn't make sense at all. It's like we're not in the same time. Oh, it's just.
Let's do it.
That was interesting. It's like whatever. Let's do it. I wrote these. I can write whatever I want.
Yeah.
Anyway, your third choice, we seem to have deviated a little bit.
Which I changed because I thought about it now, and then I realized alright, it's a long story. But okay, my third choice now is Danganronpa. I don't actually recommend you watch the anime now that the game is out and released and you can play it. I just I first watched the first episode. I'm like, alright, it's building up. The second episode is the trial. I'm just like, whoa, man, that was so good. Alright, gotta go play the game now.
Time to rinse and repeat.
Oh, well, no.
Yeah, it's a rinse and repeat.
No, you're right. No joke. Like, those first couple episodes were so good that, like, I watched them, and then we started into, like, the second case, and I realized that basically I was just watching the game get spoiled for me.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I was thinking. I'm just like, I have to play the game now, or else this is all going to be spoiled for me, and it's not going to be exciting. And so I went and played the game, and like finished it in for the next 3 days. I did nothing but play the game and just go through all of it.
The fan translation came out right before the anime came out, so I'm gonna be
that's exactly.
I'm gonna be the source material snob here instead of you, Fatalis. But I played through the whole game right before it, so I was extremely excited for Danganronpa's anime. They butchered it. They did it so badly.
So after those first 2 episodes, I went and played through the entire game, and then I just continued watching the anime to see what happened. And it was like, it's not as
it would have been okay.
It's not the same,
it would have been okay as a 24 episode or 26 episode series.
Yeah,
it would have been.
Well,
but the thing is, when you're doing it as fast as they did it, like where it really was 2 episodes per case.
It was just like there's no investigation. It was just a montage of them showing you all the clues, and I'm like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, and you never had a chance.
You
never had a chance to figure it out for yourself, which is the fun of the mystery.
Yeah, that's the worst part. Yeah, because they hide the detail. They like you quickly scan. Like, you get like a split second of the room, and then you scene change.
You're like a split second, everything. It's just like I'm just flashing you all the evidence just as fast as they can. It's like, oh, we don't have any. There's no breaks on this train. We gotta get through it all. Yeah. And then it was
just from a person who watched it without playing the game, it was a pretty shit anime as well. So I was just
I've had people tell me they liked it, but then I'm just like, you should play the game. And then, well, of course, now that they watched it, it's not going to be the same. But I'm just like, you don't understand how much better the game is than the anime. It's just like, I watched the anime got me to play the game because I wanted it that badly.
Absolutely, like it definitely at least sets it up enough that it makes you go, man, I wish I was playing this. So
yeah, exactly. I feel like it works for the first case because the first case isn't as complicated. It's still fairly complicated, but it's not like comparatively to what happens later on. It's just like it works enough to make it.
No, because the first case gets 3 episodes. It's the only one that does.
Oh, was it 3 episodes?
It's still pretty BS though, isn't it? The guy with the baseball.
It's still pretty BS. They covered most of it though, except for the investigation part, which was pretty fast. But it's like they covered enough of it that it didn't feel as cheap. But like in the later episodes, it just felt so cheap. It's just like, oh.
Yeah,
just go on with it.
Yeah, but it did have. Yeah, I mean, the problem I have with this show is why like the first episode was literally the worst thing you can do when it comes to character introduction. Literally, all of them in the same room, and then the attack. Like,
the attacks,
but the game
straight out of the game. Straight out of the game.
Yeah, it's just like really.
That's just
Come
like,
on.
well, it was slightly altered, but that's pretty much what happened. Like the first, in the intro of the game, you meet up in the hallway, and then the first thing you have to do is talk to everybody.
Yeah, it's just like I felt like in the anime they could have done it a bit more tasteful, but I thought I was so lazy. I couldn't remember anyone. Like, of course I'm not gonna remember.
Well, okay, this is something that happened. Like I'm starting super like I'm. When I wrote this down, I was thinking about it, and then I checked YouTube, and then someone has a full playthrough where it's like no commentary or anything, but they're just playing through all of Super Danganronpa 2. It's like, now that I know this exists, I have to watch it now. And that's like,
now save it, man.
Like
you only have to wait a month, and you can play it yourself.
It's coming.
Yeah,
it's
that's
coming.
true.
Like take it from somebody who's played the second one. Don't let somebody else play it for you. Just wait 1 month, man. You can wait a month.
Well, alright, I gotta do it. I'll persevere. Oh man, but I know. I feel like just on a tangentially aside, I feel like how they do it though for like introducing the characters, it kind of makes sense because they have to introduce a lot of people right away. But with their super duper talent, you kind of can just assign nicknames. It's like, oh, that's the like
sports girl,
idol person. Yeah. That's the baseball person.
The fat guy.
It's like so you can already assign people like kind of like nicknames. It's like, oh, that's baseball guy or whatever. So you can kind of already know who they are without necessarily knowing their names, and knowing their names comes a little later.
It helps that they all look very different anyway.
Yeah, that's true. But the art style is also really weird and different.
They have some interesting free picks though. I mean,
yeah,
Danganronpa. That was a waste of 12 episodes. I felt.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway.
Also, hold on. But before we move on to the next person, I just want to throw out one bonus thing.
Oh
it's
gosh.
Not an anime.
Everyone
I know
that
Dex is waiting for this.
Everyone breaks the rules.
Basically, but of all the starts though,
Uh-huh.
I probably like Mov Love Alternative start. I don't even know if you can ever call this a start. Because you have to play through extra on the unlimited to make any sense, and that's like another 50 hours back there before you can even start this. So I'm not. It's kind of unfair, but basically, well, it's in
the
the
opening
like
moments of Alternative are great, and I didn't realize how great they were until I was done.
They were fantastic.
It's because like you have to have played all the stuff before that, so maybe you don't count this, but whatever. I'm just gonna say, but basically,
just
it's in the description. If you all right, I'm gonna do it. All right. Basically, what happens in Alternative is that basically all the stuff that happens in Unlimited gets suddenly Takeru, the main protagonist. He gets sent back in time, but he has all the knowledge of everything that happened in Unlimited, and he's back at the first day of when he started Unlimited. And then suddenly it's just he's going through it, and then he knows everything that's going to happen. He knows what's going
you've got to keep in mind that in Unlimited he was kind of like the typical harem idiot.
He was
an
the
idiot.
anchor of the team. He screwed up everything in Unlimited. If an Alternative is like, I can do this. I know what happens.
Awesome.
I'm like, I'm gonna make everything good. And then for like the first opening section of Alternative, it's just a retelling of Unlimited, but everything goes well.
Yeah.
And it's just like, do this and do that. I know this is gonna happen, so I can do this. And it's like,
yes.
It was so great.
It was great.
He's not screwed up. He's not screwing up. He's actually like being amazing because he knows what's going to happen, and it's like,
It was
because
brilliant.
they could do that just like hooks you until we get to the other arcs.
The 12.
Oh no! Okay, we can't talk about that. No, we can't talk about this.
We don't talk about that now. No, stop.
No.
Don't worry, because I feel like this goes in theme with the earlier segment where we talk about how you need to watch more anime before you can watch this anime straight away. I love how you say
like for this,
you need to go through 50 hours.
You need to
light
prepare
novels
before you play Love Alternative. There's like a list of things you have to play beforehand before you can play this.
We've been saying
like
that.
This is like legitimate. You cannot just jump into this.
And a lot of people try to do it.
You can't.
That's the thing.
And you can't. No, you
can't.
cannot.
You ruin the experience if you do that.
Well, you've got our warning here. Don't watch alternative.
Don't play Love Alternative until like minimum extra and unlimited. That's the bare minimum you have.
Bare
minimum. Like the survival game and Invaders, guys. You can't watch those until you watch more anime.
This is serious though. We really mean this. This is like mandatory.
Yes. We mean it.
Like I'm like.
God,
I mean, like if you want to play.
This is like the elitist episode right here. This is the elitist episode.
This is not elitist. We are saving
you. And it's like,
you.
and if you want to like enrich it even more, you know, you can play Kimi no Nozomu En, all that, like all the other KGNE stuff. You could play through all that. All right, that's just bonus. That's the icing on top.
Oh yeah.
So while Calvin's finished breaking the rules,
all right,
everyone
I'm done.
does it every episode.
I'm done. Sorry guys, sorry.
Everyone breaks the rules. I mean, I don't know why we don't enforce these. David, you go next since you're so happy about the muff bluff anyway.
Perfect segue because I actually did just change one of my answers a couple of minutes ago.
So just for viewers, for listeners, because you're not viewing, that'd be crazy. I've just noticed like on the notepad that we all share and use, I've noticed like everyone's typing their own little small message to each other saying, I typed a so sneaky change, and then like so I just put a not so sneaky. There's some happy faces and everything going on. But sorry, David, carry on. I don't mean to derail you.
So yeah, this guy over here just talked about Kimi ga Nozomu En. Oh, it's called Rumbling. Hearts. It's called Rumbling Hearts here in America. Anyway, yes, this one caught me, and it is made by AJ. It is made by the same visual novel company that made Love and all of that. In any case, it's like I feel like it's kind of a prototype for Love in a lot of ways. In that it starts out really nice. It starts out so nice. It's got all these reoccurring features for AJ visual novels and animes and whatnot, and then it just gut punches you. In typical AJ fashion.
That's what I like to look for in series. Okay.
Now, regardless of how terrible the dub is, and regardless of how terrible Funimation, marketed it, I really did like it, and it caught me within the first 3 episodes because of that gut punch, and because of just how much it fits into the AJ universe. So, yeah.
Okay, and your next choice?
Next choice is Valvrave the Liberator.
Space vampires.
Space vampires and Gundams.
Basically, first episode, you're just sitting there, and I didn't know this at the time, but since I've watched it, it's basically Gundam Seed, Gundam Seed, Gundam Seed, Gundam Seed. Space vampires! Yeah.
Eternal space vampires. Actually,
Immortal space pilot or space pilot.
Immortal, that's the one. Sorry, yeah, not eternal.
Or no. I'm sorry. Immortal body swapping space vampire Gundam pilots. That's
yes.
It's pretty fucking fantastic.
And you know what? I'm just brushing my hands after the first episode. I'm on board.
No, me too.
This is
like I was so confused. Like I came in expecting Code Geass and space vampires.
I love how you came in expecting any show to be Code Geass. I was like, yeah, this is it. This is.
Well, it was the same composition guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
At least this wasn't like Guilty Crown where it's almost Code Geass.
Guilty Crown.
All right, we'll go. Ignore that comment.
Stop.
No, but you're right. Like Valvrave. So yeah, Valvrave just in that first episode, you watch it, and then you're like, well, I guess I gotta come back next week, huh? Like, there's no way you can just be like, well, I'm done with this. You have to know. You have to know what just happened.
It puts Attack on Titan's cliffhangers to shame, because it's like, what the hell did I just watch? So I was right on board.
Yeah. No, that's definitely one with like a one episode catch you, kind of thing.
One episode. It was
you didn't need 3.
Again, if you watched Gundam Seed, it probably got you even more because you're just going, yeah, it's Gundam Seed, it's Gundam Seed. Space vampires.
Yeah. I haven't even watched the show, and I know that it's about space vampires.
It's very much it's
infamous.
Like it basically it's there for anyone who watched Gundam Seed, where it basically is like, oh look, this is totally Gundam Seed. Kick you in the stomach. You were stupid to think it was Gundam Seed. No, we're kidding. We were kidding. It's really okay. Violent. It's okay. It really is Gundam Seed. And then they just kick you in the stomach again. And that's pretty much what happens for the whole show. Just this endless cycle.
Every single episode.
It tries to lull you back into the safe zone. and then immediately
it's an idol episode. There's a musical. Nope.
There's a
there's a big like
Let
there's
me
very
in.
much a Min-Mei character who does her singing song, and yeah, this is great, and then it follows it up with like the most messed up moment of the entire show. Just to make sure.
God, it's so
It's
bad.
like, did you
That
like
sounds
that
like
show?
Sinfo
Did
Game
you
all
like
of a
that song?
sudden.
Did it make you feel happy inside? Well, don't worry, we're gonna kill that
bad.
right now.
Oh dear.
It was great.
Yeah.
Okay, so Valve Rave. Oh my
that leads to a
god.
final.
Valve Rave.
Regardless of where you thought the show went, Valve Rave was amazing in the first few episodes.
Yeah.
That aside. Last
And that
show.
that leaves you with.
Eden of the East. This one
Oh,
caught me because in the first
I
episode.
love that choice when you wrote it down. By the way.
Oh
I love
yeah.
that choice. Yeah.
It's kind of one. I feel like it's one of the more obscure ones in a way.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
But it caught me because it's like it's just kind of like that mysterious vibe. You start the episode, you don't know anything that's going on. Neither do the main characters. You've got
the
an
premise.
amnesia. You've got an
just reading the premise
amnesiac main
kicks it in as
character.
well.
It's just picking you up. It's kind of like a Tom Clancy-esque sort of thing because it's just it's kind of a thriller, kind of mysterious. And that's basically
What are you talking about?
keeps
There was a
going.
naked guy in the first episode, David. There's a naked guy running around in Washington, D.C.
Are you saying that that's not mysterious?
Well, I mean...
I think that's
I'm
mysterious.
I just call it a normal Saturday night. I mean...
Okay, well, you're from Britain.
Look, anyway.
Yeah,
But yeah,
so,
I mean, the premise, just reading about, how... like you wonder how it gets that premise if you actually read the summary beforehand. Like the idea is that these people have was it 1 billion yen each, or like a certain ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah,
to
it's a lot of money.
to quote unquote save Japan, and then
Mhm.
you're just thinking, how does this then lead up to that? Like you just and you're just following the two characters. There's it's really good. I think how it leads up to it.
yeah, and every
Absolutely.
character was pretty relatable. Main characters were good, and I'm just sitting here going, yeah, I'm cool with this. This is great.
I don't know. The guy wiped his own memory. I wouldn't say that's too relatable. I mean,
Okay,
I'm
okay.
forgetful, but I didn't.
You don't wipe your own
forcefully
memories?
We're
well,
getting. Hang on, Ken. We're getting into territory that I do have problems with, which is some of the show's justifications.
Oh, it's pretty nuts. It kind of like it leaves you in the dark for so long.
The last
it's
episode of the show had me scratching my head, but it's still good.
Yeah, the fact is that I went to watch the movie and completely forgot what happened in the first series, and I watched the last two episodes, still don't make sense. Probably shows how convoluted it really is. It's just like leaves you with like a shoestring through the dark. Like, come on. Yeah,
Well,
this
if you
is
watch
the-
them
here comes
together,
the
it's
plot.
not nearly as bad as
Yeah, I hope it probably is, but it's been so long.
Yeah,
I need to
but
go watch
the-
it again.
It does feel like they're pulling stuff out a little bit, and that ends up undermining some of the early show. But
There's
it
some
is
nuts
good when you're
scenes. There's
first
some-
when you're first watching and all the mysteries there. You're like, all right, I'm on board.
I love that illusionary scene as well. The one in the hotel, that was killer. I thought.
Yeah, it was good.
executed. Like, you're thinking, what is this? This is amazing, and then they never show it again in the series. Like, god damn it, I want more of that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the hell's going on.
Yeah, but it's fucking nuts. Though. It's actually fucking nuts.
Yeah,
So anyway,
but good
Then-
first episodes.
yeah, it's absolutely fun. I mean, the guy was naked and they had really good English voice actors. That
Ken,
was
you
what
keep
really picked up.
Ken, you keep bringing up the naked guy.
I'm just saying, it's really good. No, because in Washington D.C. there was American citizens, and they actually had English sound voice acting.
Yeah,
for
the
them.
dub
And
was amazing.
the dub was it was perfect. So that was really great.
Hmm. Not like alternative.
No,
Right.
but are you kidding me? Alternative had the best.
Only
dub.
one person.
My problem, this is clear reader. No sign of bitter. And like that's oh man, that is one of my favorite moments of Little there. That the opening scene. Oh, all right, we won't go on this anymore.
Okay.
All right. Now that leaves with me with my three choices, and I think my. All right, and I know a lot of people. I noticed people said it before in the comments. I think some of you guys also noticed it when I first typed it in as well, which is Gairei Zero. Now that I don't know about you, but there's like the only series that I've watched. I think, or maybe two. There's two, I think. That when I watched the first episode, I just watched one after. I just could not stop watching. I just somehow just spent the entire night kind of watching Gairei Zero by accident, and just like, oh crap, it's 7 in the morning. But yeah, Gairei Zero's first episode was just astounding. It was just like such a great plot twist, and you didn't see it coming at all. Where the fact that everyone you meet just dies at the end of the episode. Everyone you thought was a main character, like, even showed a bit of backstory. You know, everyone's like relationship between each other within the team, and it even showed the mechanics of the world. It just everything just goes to hell. Don't kill the characters. They don't mean shit. This is not how you handle a spiritual beast. This is how you do it. And they show Yomi and the other girl. I can't remember her name. It was just mind blowing. It was just so good. Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, you just watching, think, oh my god, will they defeat this, spiritual beast that's terrorizing Tokyo? Oh my god, they're nearly there. They did it. Then you just see the sword that just pierces everyone. You're like, well, I guess I have to watch episode 2, 3, 4, 5 in the vain hope that you might see more of them. But no, they were just useless side characters that just died. And I just can't imagine watching the build up to when it first aired, like everyone promoting the series, whether it's the source material being, hey guys, these are the main characters. Watch the first episode, enjoy, and then everyone's dead. It's like, well, oh, that sucks. I like those characters; they were really badass. But yeah, Garo Zero's first episode, where he just kill off the entire cast, I don't think much tops it in that regards. Not really. So yeah, that was my first choice. And Bakemonogatari is my second choice. Now this probably is because it's maybe my first Shaft anime that I watched. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know if they did it with Arakawa Under the Bridge or Zetsubu Sensei. But the way the editing was handled in that first episode, in the first 10 seconds, I still remember it so clearly. Where Araragi even, when him just looking, you hear a film rolling, as if he's recording memories into his brain. That's just really clever editing, I thought. And when he blinks, you hear camera clicks because he's saving images still. Really clever editing. It's just such really great, creative direction, I thought, from the show. That was just so good. That made me want to watch more of it. The way they even how the screen transitions. So between scene 1 and 2, they just have an excerpt from the book because they're adapting from the light novel. It's like, well, let's adapt this. Yeah, it's like, what's the best way to adapt my light novel? Just plot. Show them the
just show them, hey, this happened in between, but okay, here you go.
Yeah, yeah, it's just so good. And some of the mise en scène as well was just brilliant. I thought like the way they handled it, just showing like two characters in the room by bringing the quote unquote camera outside of the room, then bring it above and just see the structural architecture of the room. Brilliant. Just some of the stuff they did in that show.
No, it's amazingly well directed.
Yeah, it's just so creative. Like, it's so like. Anime now don't do it. Animes now don't do it. Like, not even
anime never did that. I mean,
well,
other than
Cowboy
Shaft,
slightly. Some of the older stuff.
Shaft makes their living off of the fact that they are an experimental animation studio.
I mean, I'm sure older movies do it definitely because they've got the budget and time to do it. But for the series, they didn't do it at all. I mean, even like the newer Monogatari series, they didn't do it as much, which is sad because they still do the excerpts from the book transitions, but that's it. They don't show some of the amazing editing, like that creative, like I said, the camera clicking, the film rolling. I really love that, and they stopped that now. Well, no, to my memory. So I thought it was really creative, and again, like I said, it's been so long since anime done it. I mean, obviously some of the 80s, 90s did it. Cowboy Bebop did some of that nice camera angles and audio visuals, where it worked so well. Bakemonogatari did it so well again. And like I said, maybe because my first Shaft anime, that also helped. But, it was really good at that level of directing and creativity that made me just want to watch more of it. And plus, obviously, the dialogue.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
It's such a dialogue-heavy anime that it just, really helps with just like how fresh it was as an anime.
Yeah, especially that first episode is very, very good about that. Especially, it's just it's the direction does a really good job of making it feel otherworldly despite it being a real world setting, and I don't know, it's pretty terrifying the very first time she pulls out the scissors and the stapler, the staplers in his mouth, and it's just that's pretty scary.
I mean, like some of the. Yeah, I mean, like I love that scene, like how they shot the what's she called now? Oh my god, the girl the crab girl, how she's falling from the stairway. That was just wonderfully shot. Yeah, it's just it's just the spiral, and you see you don't see like from down up. It's actually you see it from the side, and then you've got the faded stairs, and she's just falling. I think that's a really great shot. Just so creative, and throughout that series of Bakemonogatari, they reasonably kept it together for the creativity. But yeah, it's just such a great, strong series from the first three that I just had to watch. I had to watch it.
I think some of it part of like the beginning, like the very opening, like the scene with like the camera lens and everything, like that's actually not part of Monogatari. It's actually part of Kizu Monogatari, which is the prequel movie that's still not out yet. But basically, like, it's because the reason that's in so much detail is because in the book it's like 4 pages of him describing like every minute detail about that panty shot, and so it's like it's just so detailed about everything about that. It's literally like 4 pages long about him just describing that one moment, and it's just like, and so that's like the anime how they get. Like, because you can't obviously like explain everything that he's thinking at the exact moment because there's just so much of it. So it's just like they're encapsulating that one moment. And I think a lot of like the Monogatari series is just that because Nizio Isin, the author, he just like writes in a lot of like this, like he really writes in this interesting fashion, and then so I know Shaft's really good about animating that stuff and just in capturing that kind of writing.
Well, yeah, especially using the excerpts from the books. I think they really did adapt that part well. But I mean, to be fair, they used it correctly as well. They used it for the transition scenes. Obviously, when you jump from place A to place B, they do the excerpt of the book of why they got to A and B and their thoughts, because there's actually real excerpts from the books anyway, so it all works out. And then for my final choice, it's I think that's the series I said is one of my favourites anyway. It's C, The Soul. Oh, Jesus, I know I always mix this up. Give me a second. C, The Money of Soul and Possibility Control. Now, so I'll just put low on mine. I just saw that. This series was brilliant because, maybe because it's my personal taste of my fascination with money. That might sound a bit crazy and a bit miser, but it's because I'm an accountant. Like, anyway, the implications of money and the real wealth, real world. So it makes sense, you need money in real world, but then the actual like supernatural element of the money that they use and how it works is I just encapsulate me in the world, because the world, the first 3 episodes you show a university student who's in debt, because all university students are in debt. I don't know how they do it. And then he needs money, so he goes get money, and then he gets entered into these like money battles where you try and earn more money. But if you lose money. It affects a real life world in ways that you couldn't possibly imagine. And eventually he meets his teacher, his tutor, and you realise that he's got like this pregnant wife, kids to support, but he's desperately fighting for his life in these games, and it just shatters him. I'm like, oh my god, I need to watch more. I need to see what happens. And it develops the world of that fake universal, that fake supernatural money. And it's such a killer story. And plus the sound effects, the voice announcers during the battle were just on spot. That it was just music to my ears almost. And because of that, I just had to watch every single episode as well. And they were my 3 choices.
Okay.
So they have really good 3 series, I think, everyone we said. Somehow, I think, let me just pull up these user comments now. I'm going to leave the last one because I can't pronounce his name. I'm really sorry. So let's start with the first one. So obviously I asked this on the open topic, I think on the Monday or Tuesday. I got late, sorry about that. So, what happened to... Someone put Ninjachu on their list earlier. Was it you, Calvin? Or
Which
did
one?
Ninjachu on your list?
Ninjachu.
I had it. I replaced it with Danganronpa when I was...
Oh, okay, I see. Okay, sorry. Well, okay, anyway. So, Greg the Mad, he posted, and he's a general person who says he doesn't really get hooked on by the episodes, but rather there's a general idea and summary of the anime. So normally for him it takes about 4 or 6 episodes. But the only exception he said was Ninjachu, which is why I thought you guys said it.
Nichijou.
Anyway.
Yeah, well, I had that on my list originally, but I changed
I'm English. Anyway. And I think that's a really funny show. Like the first episode, what's her name now? Oh my god, I'm forgetting everyone's name.
The names are terrible.
But she's late for school, or she's late for something, so she runs around the corner, bumps into a guy, and a nuclear explosion. You're like, what's going on in this show? Oh my god, I need to watch more of this supposedly slice of life comedy. And it's just batshit crazy, that anime. And I think it's such a great show as well. Ninjachu. It's one of the first.
I guess it's like comedy, and then there's also like, I don't know, it gets kind of like in the later episodes it gets kind of like sad, but it's like, it's
sad,
it's all
really?
good stuff.
I'm always that show.
Not like super sad, but just like kind of like one of the later episodes was like, just a little bit. Let's just. Like at that one episode, I was like, just endearing, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, it's one of the first few shows that left me just like grasping for air because I'm just laughing so much and my cheeks would just start killing because I've been smiling and laughing too much. I'd just be like, I just like have to stop the show and then run out quickly and be like, oh, catch my breath, start the show again, and then immediately burst into laughter again. But anyway.
And then, like, another crazy thing about like that show had like some of those scenes, like the animation just on just like this slice of life, just like just these random parts. It's just like they're just out of like they're insane.
Yeah, they had godly animation. Well, Kyoto Animation had money to spend. It
yeah, Kyoto Animation is just like, you know what? We pump out anything we pump out makes money, so let's just go for it.
Oh, sadly.
And so Nichijou didn't do too well though. That's the sad thing.
No, I don't want to hear that story no more. All right. So Zagul, did anyone write this? Because I don't think we did, and I know I missed this one out. It's the Haruhi Suzumiya's broadcast order, that is.
Oh yeah, oh god, it's just watching it now is okay, but it's because they didn't think it would be interesting enough, so we just aired it out of order.
Yeah,
which is weird.
Yeah, did anyone like feel this like when you first watched the episode? But the first episode was, I'm pretty sure, was that their homemade movie. Yeah, and I thought to myself, this is some low quality crap.
What am I watching? What is this?
I'm like, did I draw this? Did I make this? That's what I'm like.
Did I make this? Did I make this by accident?
Yeah, I was like, I nearly got put off by the first episode. Thank God someone urged me back in. I can't remember who, because the broadcast order was. That's an ordeal. I think that's an ordeal.
It was really weird.
I think Crunchyroll has it in that order too. That's the order you should watch it, isn't it? The out of order.
It depends how you want it.
It depends on how much are you going to watch. If you're going to only watch the first season, you should watch it in broadcast order. But if you want to watch everything, if you want to watch Haruhi in its entirety, you can watch it in chronological order.
Yeah,
then watch the second season, and then the second season, and then watch the movie, and then you'll be okay. Because like before the second season and movie came out, everyone's like, no, you have to watch it in the broadcast order or else blah blah blah. Because if you watch it in the broadcast order, it ends in the climax with the giants and everything in the alternate world. If you watch it in chronological order, it ends with Haruhi and Kyon walking home from school.
Oh, yeah, no. The chronological order, it ends with it ends with the concert. That's the end of the chronological.
Is it no? There was like it's something with like they had to buy the heater at the end for the Christmas party, which was slightly after the.
Oh,
concert.
you're right.
I think
you're right, actually.
So it's just like and it's like so it's like okay, they just went and bought a heater together. Okay.
That's right.
Like of course, and so it ends pretty anticlimactically if you only have the first season and watch it in broadcast or chronological order. But now that the second season and movie is out, you can watch it chronologically and still have the climax at the end.
Yeah, especially I remember the broadcast as well, because after the movie they start doing the mystery murder on the island and you're like, what the, I don't even know who these characters are. It's
like we're not on the island anymore. It's like, what's happening? Who is this character? You didn't even introduce him yet. What is this?
It doesn't even bounce like, let's say for example 1, 2, 4, 3. It's like 1, 9, 14, 6. You're like, my brain hurts.
What is this? What am I watching? Luckily they have it so that it's easy to put together, because in the ending, like the opening for the preview for the next episode, Kyon Kyon says what the broadcast order is. It's like, next time on episode 3 of blah blah blah, but then Haruhi will say like, next time on episode 7, when it's actually episode 3, but she's actually saying the chronological order, which is interesting. So it's like, if you don't know how it actually fits, just watch the previews and it'll make sense.
And actually, I have to quickly ask Richard, on the subject of Haruhi real quick as well, is it getting a third season? Like, I've heard rumours. Right?
Well,
this is secret industry tour. Is it literally a Pachinko?
Pachinko.
Is it Pachinko? I swear to God, if it is, I'm gonna cry.
It could be. It's always iffy like
it's
that.
Just like,
because we're getting the disappearance of Haruhi. What is her name? Nagito? Is that her name? I always forget.
Yuki Nagato.
Nagato. We're getting an anime about her. About the disappearance.
There's a thing that like there's.
But it is the it's not just her. It's her and the club, but it's the disappearance cast, not the real world.
Because there's a manga spin-off that's pretty much what it is. It's like the melancholy of Nagato. Oh, guys, I forgot the Nagato Yuki. The melancholy of Nagato Yuki, and it's pretty much that.
So that's coming. That's coming. But as for like a full new series, it could like. That's the thing. Pachinko is just a real easy way to get some money out of your series.
Because I saw an update on the website, the promo website. It's like 704 photos or memories out of 707. I'm just gripping on, I'm just like holding on. Like, is it season 3, or am I just gonna be disappointed and cry my laps again? Oh, not again, please! It's embarrassing. That's what I'm telling myself.
We'll see.
So, we'll see.
I don't know. There's still like, the last arc. Like I read the light novels or most of it. I'm still on the last arc. It's just it gets confusing because the timeline splits and you have to read 2 timelines of all the same characters. But there's like A version and B version, and then the 2 timelines eventually will intersect and they'll start converging on each other. But like you have to keep up with 2 separate stories with the same characters, and it gets really confusing. So I don't even know how you could begin to adapt that.
Oh well.
That reminds me of a visual novel I played, so yeah.
Right, sorry about that, Zagor. We kind of split off from your comment. Anyway, he also said, or he or she, I'm not sure, so someone will correct me on that later. Said Chihaya Furo, even the character anime. That I'm watching that, and I think that's actually pretty astounding as well. The first few, because he did a really beautiful backstory, build up really nice and slow, and it just sucks you in really into poetry card games. You're like, I didn't know I could be this excited about poetry cards. So, but yeah, I also agree with that. That's a really good beginning. And finally, and this is a name I have trouble pronouncing, so I'm just going to type this real quick and see everyone's attempts first. Oh, here we go. Alright. Okay. Who's brave enough for this?
Where'd you type it?
It's in Skype chat.
John Ueck?
John Ueck.
John Ueck? John Ueck?
If we butchered that, we're sorry.
Okay, someone's going to have to correct us on this.
Well, I just call him
Doesn't
John.
Yeah,
John.
John Smith replied to us. He also said Gyro Zero because it's just an insane episode, right? You know, you kill off an entire cast and then introduce a new one, episode 2. And it's like, yep, that's how the story works.
Spoiler alert!
Look, everyone knew when they came into this episode, we were going to spoiler everything. I said it at the beginning.
Yeah.
So he said that as well, so I totally agree wholeheartedly. He also said Kimi Todoke because everyone loves a bit of shoujo, right? Everyone needs a bit of shoujo in their life. And I love it as well. He hasn't put their reasons quite, but he does say in brief that Devil's a part-timer, Gargantua along with you, Kevin, and Maoyu, the one Maoyu. I can't remember the full title. You know what I'm saying?
Maoyu is Maoyu.
Oh god, it's confusing. It doesn't make sense when I think about it.
The one with the Devil King in the
that was also going to be on my list for a while.
I was thinking about that as well.
So his reasons was that they came out, they started with a bang and they quickly established how the series was going to go. So obviously Devil Part-Timers, they had that quick battle in their world and then got sucked up to the new world and they had to find a job and and shenanigans like that. Mao Yuma was when he finds into the Devil's King's throne, right? And then he meets the Devil King.
Be one with me. No, really? Oh, and it's like, oh man.
I think the moment that made it for me, and that episode anyway, personally, was like when she took off her horns. It's like, yeah, just these are props.
It's like, you can take those off.
It's like, yeah, these are props.
These are for traditional meetings.
Yeah,
these are traditional.
It's like it's a traditional name, but he's like, why are you called a king? It's just a traditional name. We have to be called like that. But yeah, so. They're very good picks, I think. They're absolutely fun shows. I
gotta say, if you like Kimi ni Todoke, then I'd suggest that you watch Say I Love You.
Oh, I've seen that. I detest that show.
Oh, you see, I thought it was a lot better.
Oh man.
To be fair, aren't they like? Well, I'm not saying it's the reason why they're different, but is it one shoujo, one seinen? No, not seinen. What's the?
No,
they're
both shoujo.
Jose, thank you.
Jose.
Okay,
is it,
maybe.
Yeah, I'm almost certain of it because
I thought they were both shoujo, but I could be wrong.
They might be. They blur. Because remember, Nana is shoujo.
Yes.
Just remember that. Nana is shoujo.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
All I'll say about that is, Say I Love You. It basically there just wasn't any will they won't they tension, and I thought that was better.
Anyway. So that's our episode end today, guys. Anything you want to say before we leave off? Let's go, David. Any shout outs? Any recommendations before we leave?
I guess I just gave mine.
Well, no, recently, shall we say?
No.
Did I have to?
I
didn't mean to put you on the spot.
I don't really have anything right now because I'm doing my AJ verse during my free time, which is basically non-existent. Doesn't matter.
Really?
Yeah, basically I'll just go through the normal outro. Hi, my name is Dexomega. You can find me at my Kinja page, Twitter at Dexomega. I write about anime sometimes.
Sometimes. Not as much as I do, I bet. Kevin?
I'm Rockman Dash. You can find me on YouTube and on Tay. And my recommendation would be Fate Hollow Ataraxia, the visual novel sequel to Fate Stay Night, which will only make sense if you play the visual novel. More elitism.
Is that the one with Lubu as Berserker? I did read up a little bit on Fate. Is that the one with Lubu?
No, I think that's a different one. I think that's
extra. Is it extra? No.
It's not extra.
It's some other. It's the newer one, isn't it? It's one of the newer.
Actually, it might be extra. No, I don't.
Oh, no, I'm crazy.
Jeez, I don't remember.
I'm crazy.
I know it's no. There is one. I think I know what you're talking about,
yeah.
but I forget the name. The name escapes me.
It's got like Robin Hood and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's extra.
Anyway.
No, Robin Hood is extra.
Oh, okay. Anyway, sorry. Richard?
Yes, you can find me on Kotaku.com. I post on Tuesdays and Fridays.
You didn't tell me
I
about
usually
this.
have an anime review and some gaming stuff, important gaming stuff there as well. If you'd like to follow me, you can follow me on Twitter, where I am the biggest in Japan, because I am arrogant.
You arrogant man.
We should make a new joke about this at the end of every outro. I can't think of one on the spot now. Anyway.
Well, I think this will just be a reoccurring theme.
Yep.
They don't need to know that. Calvin?
Alright, so you can find me on Tay. I post stuff when I feel like posting stuff, and so you'll see it, probably. Hopefully. And then for recommendation, there's a new fan patch by... I posted a Tay blip on this.
That's cool, you can repeat it. That's cool.
Yeah, sure. Basically, it's basically called Kamyu, Kuroi Ryu to Yashashi o Koku. So basically, it's like the Black Dragon and the Calm... whatever. It's made by... It's a new visual... Well, it's not a new visual novel, but it had a new English patch come out, I think a week or two ago. No, I'm playing through it, it's pretty good. It's made by Akatsuki Works, which is a branch off of Akabe Soft 2, so if you like G Senjo or Sharon no Kuni, it's made by an off branch of their stuff, so it's probably going to be at least
a lot of pedigree.
Acceptable.
Yeah, a lot of pedigree.
You know, got something there.
Yeah.
So if you like visual novels,
yeah, go ahead.
Like visual novels, you should check it out.
Akabe Soft 2 does amazing stuff, so yeah, I'm gonna download that after this.
Right.
Well, no. Everyone tells me like all the good stuff's in the last room, so
totally.
We'll see.
That's
it for me.
And that's me on the final 8th, top 2. Is that baseball terms? Did I get that right? I want to say that properly one day. Anyway, that is with me. I've been your host Ken, also known as FruityDrinks. I'm the ghost of Christmas past. If you read my open article, I just come in, dredge up the past to try and make you remember stuff that you don't probably want to remember. And I help doing this. Yeah, isn't this fun? I'm occasionally will post. One day I will. One day. And thank you, gentlemen, for joining me, especially you, Kelvin.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. And my recommendation would be, if you're watching Spell Slingers, hosted by Day 9, absolutely fun. It's just a Magic the Gathering game show, but they just play Magic. That's it. It's absolutely fun, and I love it. So yeah, that's my recommendation. If you watch it, you should totally do. And till then, everyone, we'll see you next month, right?
Yep.
For our half anniversary.
Yes, or you won't see me next month. But
yeah.
Sorry, Carl.
Well, I'll be there in spirit.
Thank you. We'll write your name down on the list. Right.
I'll post in the open topic or something like that.
Half anniversary next, guys.
Bye.
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 Bye.